All right, we're here. So yeah, we were talking about like the fact that like um National Guard and Reserve units during GWAT specifically um
Right.
were pretty much good to go.
Yeah, from at least from what I saw on the sustainment side,
Yeah.
non-combat arms, the logistics reserve and guard units were, and the you wouldn't hear this confessed by like the E6s, the active E6s or something, but like the if you had active component battalion staff or battalion commander CSM, they would be honest with you and say, yeah, the reserve components bring a lot to the table, especially because you bring, in most cases, a secondary, like everyone's got like their formal MOS, then they have the job that they did back at home. So you got a soldier who has his military training and then he's got his civilian job back home and he brings that experience too. So
My
it,
job
it
was pushing carts in a Menards hardware store parking
yeah,
lot.
well that's
Hell
that's a
yeah.
very important skill that you bring to the table.
I mean that's literally what my skill was. But I was like, oh hey,
Yeah.
cool, I'm going to Fort Benning. Woo!
And there's
But
the
yeah,
reserve guys also know we're only here. This isn't our full-time job. This is a temporary thing, and we get pushed together in one unit in the reserve. I'm sure in the guard you probably have more unit cohesion, but in the reserve
so the
now,
reserves you get like assembled from other units. Shit.
nationwide, you get assembled.
Oh,
So the unit gets identified, and if you're short vacancies, people around the country in that grade and MOS just get mobilization
Shit.
orders.
oh, I didn't know that, man. I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah,
So
I
my
that.
know that.
Like,
unit was from Southern California. Like my warrant officer was from Montana. Just got an order. Like, guess where you're going with these
oh,
California guys. So you just get assembled together and you have kind of a mindset that here's the here's the job. Let's just put our shoulders to the grindstone and get it done. And then we go back to our normal lives. Whereas the active duty, it's like this is just the same job with different scenery in the background. So like the routine from Garrison and all the drama and everything from Garrison just moves to the fob. Again, I'm sustainment, so we're on you know luxurious uh bases in Kuwait, um which is Garrison in all but name, really. uh and I think the reserve were, I don't want to say more effective, but at least every bit as equivalent to the um what we call compo one, the active component.
yeah,
I was just about to ask you when the reserves was formed, but I looked it up. 1908.
Yeah.
But
1908.
it was a medical reserve corps. So I don't know when it branched out to other
Yeah,
MOS.
the
It's
the
probably World War One.
Federal Army Reserve is not very old. Um, it used to have combat arms at various points of its history, but now it is almost entirely sustainment, combat support, combat service support. So your
Gotcha.
MPs, your transportation, your quartermaster, your ammo, um, um, the cooks and
Yeah,
maintenance and
supply guys. Yeah.
yeah, it's chemical, units like that
Hmm.
fill up the reserve, and
So
we have
wait a
a
second. So that's how the reserve works.
yeah, most of the Federal Army Reserve is almost entirely sustainment or
Huh.
combat support. So your combat support are like think like MPs and chemical
Yep,
and
yep, yep, yep.
so they're not combat arms, but they're like
Oh,
one
don't tell the
step away.
MPs that. Don't fucking tell the
Oh
MPs
my gosh, I don't care what the MPs think about me.
that.
Um, and then there's combat service support, which is your sustain. That's your quartermaster, your fuel and water, shower, laundry, ammunition, transportation. A lot of those units are in the reserve. In fact, between the reserve and guard, I don't know what the number is right now, but recently, within the last 5 years or so, at 70% of the support units in the entire US Army total, reserve, guard, and active duty, but 70% are in the reserve components, which means if the active component wants to go anywhere, they have to bring Compo 2, which is the National Guard, and Compo 3, which is Army Reserve. Compo 1 can't go anywhere long term with endurance without mobilizing reserve
That's
components.
really interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that,
Yeah.
like, because I mean, National Guard's got infantry. They got,
Right.
engineers, artillery, 19 series.
I mean, certain states have National Guard special forces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was the thing, was like I was like pissed off kind of in basic when they just like shit on National Guard guys. I'm like, well, we're here for a reason, right? You know, and we're getting the same training as the active guys are. They're like, yeah, you're never gonna fucking use it. It's like, no, we fucking did.
Yeah.
Like, but like, okay, that makes sense now because okay,
Any level above, um, I don't know where being a reservist, like buddies, like I was just at Bentonville, and one of the guys in the unit was he either is still an active duty Marine or he just recently got out, but he's like, oh yeah, making fun of the reserve components. Um, but that's I can see it, but that's a really like immature people who don't
oh yeah,
see the
oh
full.
absolutely,
It's an easy, oh yeah, I'm um everyone above, even in active component, there's exceptions, but I think everyone above like O3 or above E7 appreciates the reserve, and they understand, because if all of these assets had to be kept in active duty,
right,
you would have a lot less combat arms, because now the budget for the active military is only so big, and if you have to have these quartermaster units for water purification, that means you have less striker brigades.
right. No, I
There's
know
there's
that. Like, it's like I never understood the animosity. Like
it's it's playground, grade school,
Yep.
recess level, um, and it's not like I was forced to be a reservist. I chose it. I could have stayed active
yeah,
duty the entire time. Um, it
yeah. I just don't.
and
I don't fucking. I
Yeah,
don't
it
vibe
bring
for
it
that.
brings a capability that is an enormous savings to the taxpayer. All the reserve and guard units right now, like in 2025, everyone in those units over the grade of captain or E6 are experienced combat veterans. A lot of them
Yeah.
were active duty, and so they've lived that. Now they've transitioned to the reserve to continue to serve, to continue drawing you know uh, benefits, advancing their careers.
Yep.
So we have like the capability of the reserve components right now are and they're seamless. So I just got back last year. I was overseas. I fell under an active duty battalion. There were active duty Army Reserve and Army National Guard units all in this battalion, and it was an absolute seamless integration. You couldn't tell. Like once you've been working with them for about 2 or 3 weeks, all the distinctions of where you came from were gone because we all spoke the same language. We all understood the same concepts. We all understood the mission. And in the reserve side, in many cases, like I'm telling my battalion commander things because, sir, I was here 2 years ago on this exact same
Right.
base doing this job. Like I've done it before. Here's how this is done, like in this weird routine environment.
Well, and that's how we got pissed off in 2009 because like we were deployed as a National Guard unit, right, from Wisconsin, and we were an line infantry company, okay, and we went to this place called Camp Cropper as a prison in Iraq, and the MPs, both reserve, National Guard, and active MPs, treat us like shit because they're like, "Oh, you're infantry." So that was kind of the thing. It was like, okay, they're like, "You're too aggressive for this place," and we're like, "Okay," and then we're like, "Why the fuck are we here then?" And the MPs just did not like us. And they're like, "Oh, A, you're National Guard, B, you're
Who
infantry."
does the MPs like though?
Themselves.
Other MPs.
No, they like themselves. They like themselves because MPs, dude, there's 3 MPs I'll talk to who I've known in my life. That's it. And it's like Trey's one of them, right? What is this, Trey?
I just I was looking on. These are the divisions that were reserves. Now I know that the 77th was one of them, and so was the 82nd, 80th, the 90th, 94th.
Don't tell the 82nd that though. Oh God.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, the 77th, that was
That was the
God,
old man brigade.
Yeah, the old bastards.
Yeah,
What's his name from Lynchburg? Desmond Doss.
Yeah, Desmond. He was in the 77th. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Okinawa.
But yeah, I just was just the reserves, and I just pulled it up because I was
If you
looking.
wouldn't mind, pull up my unit's fucking thing, the 32nd Division. They're not reserve, they're National Guard. Check this out. This is fucking cool shit. I'm actually very proud to have, I wear 2 of these on my uniform, but like if I
Isn't that the map symbol for a heavy machine gun?
No, that actually, that red arrow is so the line in the middle of that is the Hindenburg line, and it represents the factory punch. Us as a National Guard unit
from a distance here, it looks like the map symbol,
right,
on a military map for a heavy machine gun.
Sure.
Yeah.
It could look like that, but like the reason it was like it's our SSI, like I have it right here, is because the line is the Hindenburg line, and we, as a National Guard unit, punched the fuck through it in 1918 when a lot of the other people were having problems doing it. We just went, well, we don't give a fuck how many casualties we take. Just like in the second
everyone else
Wisconsin
was exhausted. Like the French and the British, by October 1918, they're like, no, we're not charging over this no man's land.
And our retarded asses fucking did it.
Yeah, we show up and that's also what broke the Germans so quickly, because the Germans and the French and the British, after 4 years of this, they've been fighting for so long. They have this live and let live.
Yep.
So we'll attack, but if the resistance is strong, we back off. Like if
Well,
we're
what the
getting
32nd guys did, like they do in every fucking war that we've been in, is they went, okay, that's the objective. All right, we're gonna fucking take it. And they didn't give a shit about how many casualties they took. They're like, fucking move
and
on.
that's
You'll
what
get
freaked the
fucking
Germans out and
yeah.
convinced the soldiers at the front we can't win, because the Americans would attack and the Germans would expect, like, okay, we have a strong position, we're putting up a strong defense. The enemy's attacking us, but they'll realize how strong our defense is and they're going to stop. And then they didn't stop. They kept coming, and they're like,
Right.
we're
The
gunning them
Wisconsin
down,
guys,
and they
like,
keep coming. They keep coming. They
yeah.
keep coming and keep coming, and finally they're on top of you. And the Germans
And
realize,
they're just not giving fucking any quarter. Like it's like,
yeah,
dude, the Wisconsin guys, like, it's like, no, if you fucked us this long, all right, we're gonna break through and we're gonna fucking destroy you, or we're gonna capture a metric fuckload of you.
well, we
And
also took insane. Like we were only, how many months were we like in full? Like by the time
it's from
we
April until
yeah, we were only
October
there
or
for a few
November.
months,
Yeah.
and we took in the relatively small sections where like American divisions actually got plugged in and put in. We got chopped up, but we
Well,
really didn't
half of those
know any
actually
better.
were okay. I'm gonna do the will actually thing. So
Well,
there's
actually,
about 120,000 casualties in the First World War for the U.S.
yeah.
people, right? For the U.S. troops. Now, fuck, am I frozen?
Nope, you're good now.
No, you're good.
But I was frozen before. Okay. So at the 120,000 troops the U.S. actually took as casualties, about 62,000 or somewhere around there were combat deaths. Not saying it's a minimal number.
Yeah.
Half of those were Spanish flu, like going on troop ships over there and back.
Yep.
Like going back. So you survived the fucking First World War, and then you're dying from the fucking Spanish flu on the way back. Like what the fuck, you know? But here's the thing: we'll say 62,000 troops from.
They should have worn 2 masks.
Mhm.
Okay. Fucking okay.
I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got it immediately. So even 62,000 fucking casualties in about 9 months. I mean, we were in combat in 1917, but it really started in April of 1918. That's still a shitload of people. I mean, a shitload. And that's because we just didn't give a fuck. We're like, nope.
I think you could chalk it up to is we're late to the game, so we're shooting from the hip, trying to learn the tactics.
Oh, we didn't know the fucking tactics at all, man. Like,
Yeah.
we were asking the French and the British, like, and they're like, okay, we'll give you a 2-week fucking, dive bomb course, and then you're gonna go to the front. And they're like, okay, here's what's going on. Here's your gear, because all this shit that we made for our guys who are already dead, here, you can have it. Here, And then so the Americans went to the front, and they were like, holy shit, this is fucked up. Like, this needs to fucking end immediately. And then a bunch of, it's not just the 32nd, like my unit, my lineage, but like it's like fucking a lot of units were like, nope, this has got to end now. And so they would just go over and just kick the fuck out of the Germans. And the Germans were like, Jesus Christ, these guys are not good. This is like, we're taking so many, oh fuck, we're already beaten down. Like, what the fuck? And then eventually, yeah, the Americans, they did actually make that end sooner, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Did we win the war?
agreed.
No, we just made it end sooner. So for our European brethren out there who are like, well, we fought the war. Yes, I know you did. But the Americans are fucking hellacious fighters. My fucking my unit that I was in, right? Our fucking our nom de guerre is les terribles, right? The terrible ones, right? Because when we would fight these guys, we would just fucking go for it. Like, just absolutely just go for it. And we were like, whatever. took this many casualties. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. Okay, that's on my unit crest, right? Yeah, we didn't win all the time, but we fucked shit up. And then we kind of, it's basically like a bar fight. Like, I love this analogy of like, okay, so all these guys are in a bar fight and they're beating the fuck out of each other for fucking 4.5 years or 3.5 years at that point. They're just pounding each other, blah, blah, blah. And then a dude that's like my size, but actually in shape, comes in and goes, I don't like that you're picking on my friends. Fuck you. And then just beats the shit out of them. That's the analogy. It's really what it is. So it's like if you got all these people that have been beaten down for 3.5 fucking years, of course they're going to kind of sit back and be like, you do the fighting. And then Americans are just scrappy, dude. Like,
I don't
We
know
show
if the Allies would have won without the Americans.
I don't know either.
And I am normally, from no one who's read my work or watched my channel can say America, back-to-back World War champs, we kicked your butts. I'm normally the one. Well, actually, America didn't do that. I'm not a rah rah America.
Neither
But I
am
think,
I
yeah,
at
I
all.
think in the First World War, if the United States was Switzerland, like, no, we were shipping ammo and war material to the Allies right off the bat. The Germans too. In fact, famously, the Germans sent like a submarine to New York City, a transport sub, and loaded it up with goods because we said, we're neutral, so we have to sell to both sides. But the
Yep.
Germans were blockaded. But we're sending and we're loaning money to
A
the
lot of
British and
money.
French.
A lot of
Money,
money.
steel, ammunition.
Yep.
Before we even talk about that, how many divisions did we send to the Western Front by the end?
It was probably
It's a lot. Let's just, it was a significant
about
amount.
90 divisions, I would
Like
say.
that's so
Something
the
like that.
Germans, 19, I think the closest the Germans came to winning was probably early 1918 because they had Russia's out. They beat Russia. Russia is done. And you had all those divisions on the Eastern Front, along with the Austrians, who now Austria doesn't have to worry about Russia. Austria can swing their troops and fight the 39th Battle of the Isonzo,
They're
against
also
Italy.
fighting the Italians and the Romanians.
Yeah. Well, they weasel stomped Romania.
Mm,
Falkenhayn was
yeah, he did. Yeah.
not a very good general on the Western Front because
Mhm.
none of these Prussians had trained. You want a beautiful example of Prussian military maneuver warfare is because the Austrians couldn't take out Romania. Romania joined the war late, and everyone was shocked they joined on the side of the Allies because the king of Romania was a relative of the Kaiser. Like he was
Yep.
Hohenzollern Sigmaringen. So
But he
he was
also
like a
hated the fucking guy that was leading, I forgot his name, Bulgaria a lot worse, who was a ally
yeah.
with Germany.
Oh, Bulgaria and Romania had territorial
Yes.
disputes over a
And
region
yeah.
called Dobruja. Um,
Yep.
but King Carol of Romania joins in on the Allied side, and then the poor Austrians, they try so hard. They always try so hard, but they get they're
Rothstein.
overwhelmed after the first disastrous campaign against the Russians. The Austrians never recovered. Their main army, I forget the city where they were besieged at, and they lost like their active duty army. The majority of the
Oh
army
yeah, most of it. Yes.
was
Yes.
annihilated. They never recovered from that setback in the entire war. So the Germans send Falkenhayn who was no longer the overall commander. So he'd been fired from like the Western Front. They sent him to Romania, where it's a war of maneuver. And in the span of just a few weeks, Falkenhayn and a fairly small number of German divisions just just stomp the shit out of Romania. Like they're done. They're out of the war. Like finito after once Falkenhayn finished with them. But after all that was done, so you've got I mean Serbia finally fell. You know, they needed German help for that too.
Well, they were fucked.
Yeah,
Serbia was
Serbia
fucked
was a
from the
tough
get-go.
nut to crack. You had
Yep.
Romania, Bulgaria was on the German side in World War
Central
One.
Powers, yeah.
The
Yep.
Ottoman Empire was on Germany's
Yep.
side. So basically, they had the Balkans locked down. Russia's knocked out of the war. The Germans are in freaking Crimea in World War One.
Yep.
That's how far east they
Yep.
went. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, they take like a third of Russia, just ceded
Right.
to them. And all these divisions come flying back, and the Germans know the clock is ticking because the Americans are coming. And if the Americans weren't coming, would the Allies have been able to hang on, because the Germans on the Western Front had transitioned to the defensive, and the Allies, the French and the British, the French army had already mutinied once, probably the biggest intelligence
Well,
failure
that was in
in
17, so right around the time that the U.S. joined in.
yeah. If the Germans had known about that, they were utterly blissfully ignorant that the
I don't
French
actually
army
know
had.
like how that tide would have turned, but I know when the fucking U.S. went there, that the Germans were like, "Fuck, we've got to get
Mhm.
guys on the Western Front immediately," and then the Americans get their asses kicked. We always do this shit. The Americans, it's a fucking pattern. Let's be honest here.
The Russians too. The Americans and the Russians kind of follow the same. The war
Yeah,
starts, we get our
you go
asses
in,
kicked.
you get your asses. I mean, not just kicked, but like fucking shoved in. Right? You're like a reverse prolapse at this point. And then you go, all right,
Yeah.
I know what you're about. We're gonna start fighting different. It's in every fucking war that we've been in.
It's be. I'd like to think we've gotten a little bit better, but you look at so the American Civil War, the day the Confederates fired at Fort Sumter, the U.S. Army had about 12,000 soldiers in it. So tiny army. This is the legacy of the founders and the American distrust, which in hindsight may have been a mistake. I mean, you can't talk anything bad about the founding fathers, but they they had the memory of the British troops quartered in their communities. And there was a very democratic concept that we don't need a standing army. A standing army is expensive. A standing army
Yep.
is a
Yep.
danger to liberty. And we have this massive ocean between us. So if someone over there wants to come hurt us over here, we have time to raise the militia. So we even have that wonderful Second Amendment saying that we gotta, the people have to
Yep.
keep and bear arms so that we can have a
Everybody's a militia.
militia,
Yep.
so that by the time the European armies get here, we can take the militia and turn it into basically an
That only
army.
applies to like shotguns though.
Yeah, it's double barrel shotguns. Or
Fire two
single shot
blasts.
hunting rifles.
Fire two blasts. Yep.
But even by the Civil War, we still had. So we fought the American Civil War as a militia war. So the active army was freaking tiny, and it never really grew that much. The active component army, the regulars, I don't think they added that many regiments during the war.
That's what I'm
It,
saying. Second Wisconsin Volunteer Infantry
right.
Regiment.
That's a militia unit raised by the
Correct.
state of Wisconsin and then offered by the governor of the state to the
Yep.
service of the United States, accepted
There you go.
into the service of the United States.
There you go. Yep.
And then it's a militia war. So we fought the Civil War, militia war. Immediately when the war ends, the size of the army reduces back to, basically nothing. Then 1898, Spanish American War, another militia war. We had to raise volunteer troops
from Wisconsin and other states, and
to go fight Spanish America. After the war, the army shrinks back down. World War I, tiny little pre-war army.
Oof.
The army balloons up in size.
Do you know the numbers?
Volunteers.
So, Brett, do you know the numbers
For World War I?
Yeah.
What did we had? We had like 112,000 troops at the start.
We had like 200,000. Okay.
Yeah.
4 million by the end of 1918.
Yeah.
That's fucking quick.
Yeah.
200,000 to fucking 4 million in a matter of a year and a half.
That's why I have a Ross rifle that I can't touch because YouTube would be.
Because fucking you can't fucking.
Yeah. But I have that Ross rifle with the U.S. stamps on it because in 1917 we're like, holy crap, we don't have any guns.
Dude, and they fucking.
Now, is that 303 or 3006?
It's in 303. It's a Canadian straight pull bolt Ross rifle.
One of the local gun shops had the Mark III.
Is that the one with the
no, Mark II? Sorry, it was the shorter version.
Talk to Devin about those rifles because he's like the fucking expert on them.
Oh, I love the Ross. The Ross is great.
It's not like a combat rifle at all. That's the problem.
It's great for everything except war.
Yep, it's a great target rifle.
It is, yeah.
Not a great combat rifle.
Well, and if, in fairness to the Canadians, who we're trying to really be nice to because we don't want them to get mad at us.
Hockey.
I really don't give a fuck.
Okay.
It would have worked if the Canadians were able to issue Canadian ammo. The problem was when they got the British ammo, the chambers of the Rosses were so much tighter because the tighter the chamber is, the more accurate the rifle is. If you have this sloppy, loosey-goosey chamber, and so that's what happened to my Ross, is they panicked. They're like, oh, this sloppy British ammo, the tolerances are all off. We're getting all these jams. So they reamed out the chambers of the Rosses. So now my Ross destroys my brass. So if I shoot it, about 50% of the cases rupture because they reamed the chamber out so much. Like, this thing is not going to jam anymore.
Well, do you want me to call Devin and get him on and talk about the Rosses? Because he's...
If you want to. I mean, I've said about all I need to say about the Ross.
Yeah.
No, I'm.
But he's like a fucking expert on that shit. And I've actually never shot one.
Yeah, there's a video on my channel on shooting the Ross.
Yeah, and so it's but and then it was funny because they were like, oh well, the 1903s they take so long to manufacture. Let's just do the not P17s, M1917s. And that's actually my favorite bolt action military rifle of all fucking times.
They're expensive now.
I know they are, and it's I get it, but dude, that fucking thing is. If you're at 1,000 yards, I'm going to hit you with it.
They used to be a lot cheaper than 1903s.
Yes, exactly.
Then, I don't know, in the last maybe 10 years, it's like the light bulb switched. And now,
right.
Everyone realizes, holy crap, this is a U.S. military service rifle. Yeah, now they're expensive.
Yeah, and they're
it's like Nagants. Like, someone woke up one day and decided, yeah, I'll pay $500 for this thing.
The two rifles that I've had from World War I that I've just passed them off to people who are okay shots, but not great, whatever, but not bad, but and I'm stand up and shoot that target at 500 fucking yards. One is the Lebel. The 1886-93.
Really?
Okay. Boom, bam, they hit it. And the other one is the fucking 1917 service rifle.
What
And
load are you using in the Lebel?
I'm loading 43 grains, I believe 41 or 43 grains of IMR 4895, and then 203 grain 328 bullet.
What does YouTube say about handling cartridges? You don't want to go there?
Nothing that I know.
Because I have so I have a Kropatschek, which is a Portuguese
Yep.
8mm black powder, and the rifle right before the Kropatschek was the Geddes rifle, and it took the same cartridge essentially, but it used, and it's all contemporary with the Lebel basically, but they're right in that transition from black powder, paper patched black powder bullet to the modern small bore, 8mm ish high velocity bullet. And paper can't, the paper's just moving too fast. They need something better. So they took this like copper foil and they wrapped the bullets, they paper patched the bullets with copper.
Really?
Yeah, so I need to find that. So I'm gonna shoot that out of the
Meth heads.
Kropatschek.
Meth heads.
What
Yeah,
the fuck, man? Like,
yeah, it's a
I never
copper,
used paper
a
with the
copper
Lebel.
foil.
Like,
Then they realized, let's just Full Metal Jacket the bullet.
yeah,
And
okay.
then-
That's what I've been
yeah,
using. So, yeah,
yeah, but
but they
it's
fucking
that
seriously use copper
they
sheeting.
did. They used a copper sheet.
Jesus,
So
Proust.
it's done the same way as a paper patch, just a thin.
What the fuck, over?
Yeah. And then the problem with that was it
Well,
wouldn't separate from the bullet. The paper would
right.
separate, but the copper for some reason clung to the bullet, and it
Affected
if the
accuracy,
patch,
I guess.
yeah, if the patch doesn't separate on a patched bullet, your accuracy goes down. So it was the 8mm Geddes bullet, Guedes, that had the foil patch, and then the Kropatschek was always Full Metal Jacket from day one. Black powder. It's an 1886 rifle. It's a black powder rifle.
Well, that's why it's cool with the Lebel. Like, it was that same time period,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah. Same
smokeless,
year.
and they jacketed those bullets as well.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like,
you have to at that velocity. Like once you get past 2,000 feet per second.
yeah,
You,
that thing is like, because I was having, like, when I was telling you about that story about my buddies shooting it, they would shoot it. They go standing offhand, rather, not even sitting down. They just be like, wham, and you hear ping immediately. That son of a bitch is it hits hard, and it's a fast.
I've only shot
round.
my Lebel maybe twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I should take it out again.
It's one of my favorite old school rifles to shoot, man. That thing
They're
is
very interesting.
fucking, oh Christ, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean,
The cool thing is, though, it didn't have a ping to get them killed, so they were very reliable.
That's right. They didn't have any clips at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's dude. The reload is a motherfucking son of a bitch. It's awful. But if you're doing like single load, like they did back, in the day, like it's, just taking your time, you're not under stress. That fucking thing, man, is so accurate. I'm like, there's gotta be something off. Like, am I just getting lucky, or then I gave it to my friends and they all fucking just hit shit at 500 fucking yards.
I
Okay.
don't like the Lebel sights.
I do. I like them because they're low profile and they're really fucking hard to screw up.
They are super, super fine, but I'm not a fan.
You don't like them? You like bigger sights?
Yeah, I think I'm more like Lee Enfield or Mauser style.
Yeah.
Personally,
Well,
and it's all yeah.
I prefer the Lee Enfield. He's dying.
Yeah, I just threw the mute button on. I'm fucking got a coughing fit.
Everyone
There's-
loves to crap on the commission rifle, the Gewehr 1888.
Yeah.
But you look at that compared to the Lebel 1886, single loading tube magazine, rimmed cartridge.
So this is where I
Funky.
don't know. I don't know where I stand on this argument because I guess
The
it'd just be
commission-
with the loading system. That's it, right? But like,
There's so much more about the Gewehr. The Gewehr 88 has a bad reputation today because we compare it to the rifles of the next generation. So we compare it to the SMLE, the Mauser 98, the
oh no, I don't
1903.
do that. I'm just saying like,
Yeah,
because I own one.
it's
I've
rimless.
shot them.
It's 8 mm Mauser. It's the first rimless cased military rifle ever, and it's an N block clip. So
It's a
loading
packet. It's a packet.
it's a Packetladung. Yeah.
Yep,
You
packet
open
loading.
the bolt, and it's got the smoothest bolt
Right. Yeah,
ever too.
I know this, but like, here's the thing: is like all this shit. Besides the loading process, I think it's like
The good thing about the cardboard packet, though, is when you were done firing, it didn't pop out and give a ping.
The commission rifle did give a little ping because it's a brass clip,
Clip.
and it ejected out the bottom, and it had a ping.
and also
That's why the
fucking
Germans got
tray.
rid of it. They're like, "Oh no, we can't have this ping
The
sound."
Mannlicher did too.
Yeah, the
That's where
Mannlicher
that fucking
was
engineering came
rimmed,
from.
so you had to insert that clip the right side up.
Yep.
The commission rifle, the Gewehr 88, you can put it in either way because it's a rimless round.
Yeah.
The commission rifle also, it looks almost like a musket. You look at the barrel, and it's this big, thick, beefy, like broomstick, like
Do you know
tube.
why? Do you know why they did that?
Yeah, because this is so 1886, 1888. They're designing this thing. Machine guns are just barely starting to appear, and the Germans are the infantry philosophy of the time is that firepower comes from infantry rifles. So the Germans imagine when this commission is designing this rifle in the mid 1880s, they're like, we're going to be rapid firing this thing, sustained fire, hundreds and hundreds of rounds going down range from each soldier. They're just going to be loading and firing, loading and firing, loading and firing. And so they designed it with the barrel shroud to dissipate heat from the barrel. And what it also did, this is 1880s, the only place that barrel touches is the breech and the ring at the muzzle. It's a free floated barrel. Everyone loves to crap on the commission rifle. And it had its flaws. It's a fairly weak bolt, much weaker compared to the Mauser 98. But for the mid 1880s, so its contemporaries are the Lebel, the Kropatschek, the Austrian model 1886 and 1888 Mannlichers. Like those are that's where it's. I mean, it's 5 years before the freaking Mosin Nagant, for crying out loud. This is an old 1880s old school rifle, and yeah, by 1914, it's obsolete. But if you look at when it came, when it was developed, it was, and then of course machine guns showed up. So now infantry aren't doing that amount of fire. But before the machine gun and before modern artillery, you have about a 30 to 40 year window in Western military history from like the end of the American Civil War until about the Russo-Japanese War, where the overwhelming majority of battlefield casualties are from small arms, from rifles. And
Yep.
after 1905, after the Russo Japanese War, that starts to shift towards artillery. So by the First World War, 70% of casualties are by artillery, about 20% from machine guns, and less than like single digits from infantry rifles. So when the Germans are designing the commission rifle in the mid 1880s, they're in the era where the regular Grunt's rifle provides your decisive firepower. Like artillery helps, but in the 1880s, in 1886, you fired a cannon. It didn't have a recoil mechanism, so you had to have cannoneers push the thing back into place and reload it again. So your rate of fire is still slow.
Really
So when
quick,
they're
Brett,
just
do you know what the rate of the highest rate of casualties were in World War One and what the percentage was?
by weapon,
Yes.
yeah, it's artillery was over 70%.
It's about 64. Yeah. But
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's
it
like
might
no, but
depend
like
on who
that kind of helps your point of like
right.
back in the day, like they didn't artillery was like something that caused casualties, but the infantry was the queen of battle, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, that flipped
Yeah, it did. Definitely
between the
did.
Russo-Japanese War and the
Yes.
First World
Yep.
War.
1905 was a fucked up. That was
And
a
we're
fucked
still
up
living
thing.
in that era, by the way.
Yep.
You look at Ukraine and artillery, drones now added to that, but
Oh yeah.
it's artillery does the killing. It's
Dude, I almost when I was in Iraq, that was my biggest fucking threat was artillery.
yep,
And it's like, holy shit, man. Like,
yeah.
oof.
Yeah,
Like
once
these
you
guys in World War
fire
One, I
that
can't even
shell,
imagine.
you don't have to worry about a soldier. You don't have to worry about someone lining up their rifle sights and
Right.
aiming center mass and actually pulling the trigger on a. You got gunners 12 miles away, just
Yep.
throwing bag charges into a breach and letting haul.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no bullshit. It's like that's yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really fucking interesting about
Yeah, I'm
the
just a
late
fan. If you can't tell, I'm a fan of the commission rifle. It gets a
it's
bad
a
rap.
it's a
People
it's a
shit
decent
on it.
fucking rifle for sure. I've shot them and they work well. They'll put rounds on fucking target. And it's cool. 'Cause I like how people call it a commission Mauser, and I'm like, nah,
Yeah, Mauser had
not a
nothing to
Mauser.
do with it.
Nope. And also, like the reason that Mauser went to the 8 by 57 millimeter or the 7.92 was because of that fucking rifle. Because they were using the 7
Yeah.
by 57 and 7.65, and the Mauser cartridge was like officially like the 7.7 or 7 by 57, and
Yeah,
then they were like,
the Mauser's 7.92 by 57.
no, I know that, but like the original Mauser cartridge was not that.
Correct.
That
Well,
cartridge came out
the
with the commission rifle.
yeah, the 8 what we call 8 millimeter
Yes.
Mauser
Yep.
was correct. It was so Mauser was already like the proper Mauser rifle is 7 millimeter Mauser.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Mauser wanted the German army to go with because
It's a
it's a
really good
higher
caliber.
velocity
Yep.
round, and then so you look in the 1880s, 1890s, it's velocities, everything, everyone wants more velocity, more velocity, more velocity. And the 7 millimeter Mauser, so the Mauser 1893
The
in
7.65.
in in uh in 7 millimeter, then the Mauser 1895 in 7 millimeter. That they so the Boers, for instance, the Spanish are buying these. The Boers in South Africa
Yep.
are buying like these high velocity. Uh, but the German military stayed with 8 millimeter because they wanted the same round between the Mauser 98 and the Commission 88. Made
Right.
logistical sense. the commission rifle can handle the higher pressure Mauser 98 loads, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah, me either. I've done it. I've got a video on it, and the bolt was
Yeah.
sticking, and it's like,
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on that
yeah,
old. Does yours have an S on the chamber?
yep, it does. Yep,
Yeah, so in theory, that chamber has been modified to accept the new Spitzer
right.
bullet,
But it
which was
also, when you
larger
start
diameter. They went from like a 318 diameter bullet to a
to a 323,
323.
yep, yep.
Yeah, and
And
they
here's the thing:
say
is
it could
the way
handle
the
it,
way I
but
shoot guns, I shoot them very quickly, and it started just fucking sticking, and I'm like,
yeah.
all right, we're done. Like,
I
so
had I did something very foolish when I was young and stupid. I bought the Turkish 8 millimeter
yep.
surplus, dirt cheap, right? Dirt,
Oh yeah.
dirt ass cheap. But a lot of the cases, those Turk cases, were split at the neck.
Yep. Yep.
So what
I
I
remember.
did was
Yeah.
I pulled the bullet, which was easy to do. You just pull the bullet out when the case is split.
Yep.
And it had, you ever pull a bullet and look at the powder in those Turkish
Yeah.
surplus?
They're square flakes.
It's flakes. That's
Yep.
Hotchkiss glass flake powder. The World War One German rifles use the same flake powder. The Turks just kept using it. And it's good. It's decent powder. So I thought, well, I'll just reuse this powder. I'm cheap. I'm in college, and I'm reloading. And I'm like, why am I gonna go buy, a pound of 48.95 when
Right.
I have this coffee can full of Turk powder? So I start reloading 6.5 Swedish Mauser
Oh no!
using a what was a well reduced load. So it's not like I'm taking 8 millimeter Mauser
I
and
gotta
pouring
piss. I'll
it
be right back.
straight
Yep,
in.
same. Pee break.
Oh yeah, I got
You
it.
can just go ahead and talk. Like you're good.
No, I gotta pee. Probably should take Willie out too. No.
He's just happy and content.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Are you a good boy? No, I haven't been fed in weeks.
That's why he's so small.
Good boy, huh? You a good boy? Hmm? Are you a good boy? Yes, you are. I know. You're a good boy. That's cool. So you met Starbuck in person, you said?
Yeah, he's semi-local to me. He's only about
Okay.
40 minutes away, 30, 35 minutes away.
Yeah, I like his hats. think I have a kepi he made too.
I have two. I have this one. I went down and picked it up from him in person, and then I've got the. It was a group buy years ago. It was an English Army cloth with the canvas brim. That one's real nice too. That was a group buy, and he's cool, man. Like he can look at a picture on eBay and be like, "Yep, that was mine," or "No, I didn't make that."
Oh, really?
I don't know how, but yeah, I've seen him do it. I'm like, I don't know how he knows, but he knows.
We are in a really good time where there's a lot of good people making a lot of good stuff.
Let me.
Avery was showing me some of his hats.
Did you see that
Yeah,
big bucket that he's got? It's like a size 58. Like I put it down and it's set.
Was
like
it
on
the
my
Hardy
nose.
hat?
It was a Confederate version of the Hardy hat, but yeah.
Okay, because there was one at Hutzel's tent.
Yep.
And I picked that thing up, and yeah, no, it goes down to my neck. Like it is completely.
It's massive.
Yeah, that's funny. We're talking about the same hat.
You're talking about Avery hats?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
he had-
He fucking, he's an artist. Insane. The little wiener there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good boy, huh? Yeah, that hat. I don't know what size. That's got to be like a 9 1/4.
Yeah. No, I think he's. Oh shit! What is it? He said like
Yeah.
58. It's massive.
No shit, it goes down to my shoulders.
So like a fucking like a Union 58.
It's a bucket.
No, it
really
was
is
a
bucket.
it was a Confederate copy of the
Shit.
Hardy. So
Yeah,
instead of having
I know there's a size chart.
instead of having a leather brim inside, it's a cloth brim, but they look almost identical. But it was like a size 58. It was massive. Like I put it on and it like sat on my nose, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
Dude, there was a guy I reenacted with. He was in my World War One unit. Great dude. He had a size like for civilian sizes, he had a size like 8 1/4 or some shit like that. Head. And it was just fucking. I'm like, what the hell?
But this is the trailer for that thing I was telling you about.
Okay, are we allowed to play it on publicly?
As a Glock.
Shit. This is like dog shit.
Yeah, I need more girls rolling cartridges.
So yeah, the reason I brought this up to show Brett and all them, Greg Starbuck, the guy who makes Kepi's, Kepi Nation on Facebook, he's in charge of this. He's doing it because he's from Lynchburg. I don't know if he's from Lynchburg, but he's where he's working. It's his goal. But he was asking for extras to be in this film, as 12-year-old girls to about 17, 18 who were making paper cartridges during the war, which is extremely cool because you don't see that in any other film or anywhere else.
Yeah.
So he's going to have that as part of, because basically he's doing a documentary on Lynchburg during the war, but Lynchburg did have a battle at one point. So that'll wrap into it as well. But Lynchburg did make cartridges. I don't know when they started. Obviously, they ended 65, but there is documentation of certain calibers. Like they even were making the oh god, what was that carbine? Is it the Maynard carbine?
The for Confederates?
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have had enough Maynards. Maynard took a brass case. Were they making brass?
No, it wasn't the Maynard. It was the one.
Smith, Gallagher.
No, I think it was the Gallagher. No, so it had on the rear of the rifle. You pull the latch up and back, shoved in a cartridge, closed it back, pulled
That's
the
a
hair
rolling
back.
block.
Yeah. No, it's not a rolling block. The bolt, basically, the bolt would slide back when you lifted this up. It would slide it back.
Huh.
Merrill carbine, that's what it was.
Merrill, yeah. Okay.
Also, like I said, it was like horse shit. The trailer was not good, but also ours wasn't either. So I just want to make that very fucking clear. Like his trailer
I think
was.
a lot of these little like educational videos are made, like the military stuff is a very generous standard of authenticity.
Yeah.
To be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the Merrill.
I would be very impressed if someone made any movie or documentary that met my level of authenticity and expectations.
Like I said, it's still in production. They filmed the tobacco what do you call it? Storefront, whatever, last weekend. Well, yeah, this is the Merrill carbine.
Hi YouTube. This is the Merrill that I talked to you about. The plunger is indeed
The fuck?
fresh,
I've never seen this before,
and,
dude.
the rifle shoots very well thus far. So
Does it have a rubber obturator in it?
That I don't know.
Blows and fire.
There's no reproductions. It's the only original.
Yeah.
In the great cinematic footage we have here.
I might go out and shoot the Chaspo tomorrow.
Nipple on, or primer on the nipple board.
So you got to put
and
a fucking
This is
okay primer on
Merrill
there.
in action.
It's got an obturator. That looked like
This
came
guy
out of the
can't
breech.
fucking
It's
handle a
automatic.
fucking.
It's anything gets, I guess.
God damn.
Cheers. Merrill that I
Yeah, I don't see any.
Fucking almost blew him on his ass. Like, what the fuck, dude? Get some dumb idiot like me to fucking do it.
this is the
That's why I
Merrill
want to
that
find that supposedly this apocryphal account now that the second Wisconsin got issued 69 smoothbores, supposedly Harper's Ferry muskets, so probably flintlocks converted to percussion, and then they marched out to First Bull Run, and they had never fired these guns until they fired them in
Oh,
combat.
Trey's on the fucking topic. Look at this
And-
motherfucker. You see him? He's just fucking like, his lips are pursed. He's like, fucking, we're doing this.
What?
Shit.
What are you talking about? I just work here, man.
I know. This is what Brett said. I just want to call it out and find it funny. I'm the antagonist, bud.
I want to find that account. It said that they were being knocked over by the recoil of their muskets.
What the fuck, really?
Yeah, that's supposedly there's an account.
I mean, they're 60, but it's 12 gauge. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it's the first time they've ever fired, because a lot
It's
of
the
like
first time
going back to like you said earlier, like we were a militia army, and
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, a lot of these guys did not get any training. Like, it was load 9 times, and that was it. There was no,
Yeah.
shoot target practice. It was like just keep repetitively,
Yep.
cartridge, pour, remove rammer, insert ram. Like,
No, I
so
get that. I get that a lot. Well, it's
I
so it's
could
like I
see
just
it maybe. I mean, some of these young guys who came from clerk jobs or something, and they take the 69 caliber is 12 gauge, so I mean it's got a little bit of a wallop to it, but
I haven't been
yeah.
able to find it though, so I am increasingly skeptical about the veracity of that account.
yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it that it might have happened, like even in training, right?
But you guys
Like,
also remember how you're firing. Like, you're not leaning into the
Mhm.
shot. You're T-stepping, so you're looking. You're standing
Yeah.
straight up. Your feet are together like this. So kind of maybe.
There's 110 grains of powder behind buck and ball.
Yes, sir.
That's some recoil.
yeah, that's yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is yes, I've got my little bias for the Wisconsin guys because I'm a Wisconsinite. However, I also know how weapons can fucking throw you on your ass. Especially if you're not used to them. You're like, oh shit,
I
okay.
could kind of see it knocking you off balance a bit, but I think
Yeah.
knocking you down seems.
No, I'm not. I'm okay. I guess again, a regional thing. Knocking you on your ass means like throwing you back and like, oh, you didn't fucking, that's what it means up here, I guess. Okay, regional things again. Love.
Brendan Gill brought up a good point. They could have accidentally double loaded too.
Yeah.
You think so in training?
At Bull Run.
Yeah. According to the account, this was the first time they had ever fired their guns. Now, I
Oh,
have
dude, yeah.
many references of soldiers going into combat and they had not yet fired the guns. I even found an account of a unit issued infield rifles on one day, and then the very next day they're sent into battle with them. They had never fired them at all, and they're
Well,
sent
that's another
straight.
thing, especially with muzzle loaders. Is like they might have loaded it because their NCO told them to or whatever. And then the next day they were like, I gotta load my fucking rifle. It's like, no. Like, I mean, you're terrified when you're in fucking combat. You're terrified. It's not good. So I understand like both like kind of perspectives
Yeah.
of why that was. I don't blame anyone except the fucking politicians that put them there. But like, yeah, I mean, it's very probable that he might have or like already loaded his fucking gun.
I just want to find the account of it because it would be another primary source for this book project that I've been working on casually for years.
Yep.
Um, of of like another documented instance of Civil War soldiers going into combat with weapons they've never fired, which
Yes.
is
When
unthinkable
also
now, but
you don't put a cap on it, it's not going to go off. If you do put a cap on it, it's probably not going to go off sometimes. Okay. So yeah, I mean that's a very
oh yeah,
problem.
especially if they're firing volleys
Yeah.
and if there's some oil or something in the flash channel and it doesn't go off and you reload and then
hmm
the second time it goes off, that might put you on your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is like, dude, people don't understand. I don't think like most people understand like when you're that much stress, like combat stress, like you're not really like you're going through muscle memory. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you're doing this and all that shit, blah blah. Doing all those steps back then,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck do these guys do it? It's insane. So it's like Yeah, if they packed 2, 3, 4, 5 balls in their fucking barrel and they
At that
didn't.
point, it would blow up.
Well, right. If it fired, if they put a cap on it, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it happened, and it's like, dude, the amount of stress, people don't get that. Like, that
It's
was
impressive that they
insane.
fired as much as they did.
Yeah.
The what?
It's impressive they fired as much as
Oh,
they
dude.
did. Well, even in reenacting, which you cannot even remotely compare, and I'm speaking of just this last weekend at Bentonville, in what was supposed to be the campaigner battalion I was in. And there were a lot of guys that were a little horrifying with their manipulation of muskets. And these are reenactors. We're absolutely not in combat. No one's actually shooting at us. And these kids were so freaked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're forgetting the steps of loading it, playing soldier. Like it's the adult equivalent of playing cowboys
Yep.
and Indians.
Yep.
And they're so stressed out and nervous, they're making mistakes at a reenact. I can't imagine. And something I've realized now that I've put cameras out at 300 yards when we're shooting long range is the bullets that hit low are spraying so much crap up
Yep.
at you, and with enough force to punch through the paper of the target.
Yep.
So you're
Oh
in the
God, yeah.
line, even if the fire is not very effective and you've got bullets coming around you, they're still throwing dirt and things. How the hell do you stand there and reload a musket with a muzzle loader, put your ramrod back, prime and everything when you've got spray from bullets flying
Muscle
up
memory
at you?
goes so far
Yep.
until
Yeah.
it doesn't.
And I don't know how much muscle memory there was. I mean, you can do loading 9 times all day long
It goes until
without
it doesn't, and it's like,
actually handling that cartridge.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's phenomenal that
I mean, that's not.
these militia armies marched up with such little experience and they still pasted the shit out of each other
Yep.
is what's impressive to me. That there's enough guys who aren't shitting themselves, who have the
balls.
cool presence of mind to stand there and go through the process of loading these muskets. Yeah, it's
That's
I
why I
mean,
don't think Civil War combat was as we think it was. I think there was a lot more guys who were fucking terrified, to be honest. And like, not just the troops, but like their NCOs, their officer corps, and all that
yeah.
shit, who were like terrified, like, because like, dude, it's fucking insane.
There's
You know, think about it.
also 19th century, mid 19th century, like American culture, there's the inherent human fear, which is intrinsic. It doesn't
Yes.
matter if you're kicking in a door in Ramadi in 2009 or if you're marching with Marlboro at Blenheim. Like
Mhm.
there's an intrinsic human fear, but in the 19th century, in American mid-Victorian, there's a super strong cultural current. It's the same thing that made the Japanese banzai charge. Like they were still scared
Yeah.
shitless and they
mhm.
Oh,
still
exactly.
charged
Yes.
because there was a cultural framework around them. And in the American Civil War, the cultural framework that pushed these guys shoulder to shoulder into combat is I have to stand here and do my manly duty, and I cannot be perceived as being a coward
Yep.
when I go home.
Because,
When
like
the
you said, it is a
war's
militia.
done, I
Yep.
have to go home, and I
Yep.
won't be able to show my face around anyone unless I stand here and put on this brave face and load my musket and
Yep.
act as though I'm not shitting myself terrified. So I think that I don't know if we quite have that today, because I'd be like, fuck, I'm just gonna move to a different town, you know.
Yep.
I
Right.
don't think we really have that, like, framework around. We have to find the American military now has built like its framework around the buddy concept. Like, you're not fighting for the Secretary of Defense or for Old Glory, you know, the Star Spangled Banner, America. You're
Right.
fighting because your buddies are next to you and you can't let your buddies down. And we've harnessed that into the modern
But
American
I also,
military.
Brett, I believe that's what it's always been.
True.
I believe it's what it's always been. Is like, here's the thing: is those fuckers, they're not on the battlefield with us. You know, if that makes sense. You know, like
Right.
they're
No.
not here with
No.
us. It's my buddies and me. So they're not here. I am.
That's what keeps, like, I wonder, you know, is it this week or next weekend is the 160th Sailors Creek?
The weekend after next, and
Yeah,
then after
it's
that,
like,
What is Sailors Creek?
it's
Sailor's
one of the
Creek was one of
last
the
wars of the last battles of the Civil War, like the last gasp.
yeah.
And
Okay.
like, what motivated Confederate soldiers to keep fighting when it's so obvious it's over?
So here, I'll pull it up.
Like, it, and a lot of these final, like Bentonville, you know, the Rebs are taking massive casualties too, and they're
Yep.
still fighting. At the very, like, Petersburg has fallen, like they're closing in on Richmond, like it's over, and they're still like the Germans in
Why are the
Berlin in
Germans doing World War
45.
II?
Yeah,
You know,
why are you
both World
still,
Wars actually.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I guess I actually have the answer to the question. But like, I can spot similarities,
Yeah.
and it's I think people just fucking. Hold on, it's
Yeah,
loading
go
up.
ahead. Go ahead.
Um,
So after Richmond was surrounded in Petersburg, so basically it was like 35 miles of trench work around Richmond and Petersburg. April 3rd, I believe it was, there was a breakthrough of Petersburg. They broke through the trenches. So Lee had to redeploy his men around all the way over here. And when they finally broke through, that's when they gave Richmond the go ahead to like vacate. So April 6th was Sailor's Creek here. Farmville is here. So the army at Sailor's Creek was split up into two, and a third of the army of Northern Virginia was taken captive, uh, either killed and or wounded or captured. I think like 35 flags were captured by the Federal Army, and then 2 days later was 3 days later was Appomattox, where they surrendered.
Yeah,
And
shit.
yeah, Virginia, there was a naval reserve brigade at Sailor's Creek because they were overlooking the James River. They were naval guns on the heights, and they were ordered to vacate as well. They had been an artillery unit the whole time, never trained with rifles, etc. Then during the vacate, they were like, grab your shit, grab a rifle and gear. And they were, like you were saying earlier, never had been trained with this, never fired one. And then they surrendered at Sailor's Creek. And there was a famous quote. I don't know if it's been said a lot, so I'd like to think that it's true. Apparently, one of the federal officers who captured some of the Confederate naval brigade jokingly said, "Confederate Navy, what do you have gunboats this far up up the river?"
Mhm. I wonder if that was the Navy from Fort Darling at Drury's Bluff.
I think it was.
Yeah.
because they had like spiffy uniforms. I think it was like white pants, the gray top, white
Yeah,
hats.
they were Garrett. I was just there a few. I went. I really like Drury's Bluff. The
Yeah.
fort there. If you ever have a chance to stop by, it's a forgotten little, but that's where the Monitor tried to
Yep.
steam up the river to get to Richmond.
A few
With,
ships did, and they got wrecked.
Yeah, the ironclad Galena got shot to pieces. And
Yep.
you go to that fort and you look down the river, you realize what a beautiful field of fire they had. But
I mean,
yeah,
people, you gotta remember those
those
guns are shooting like basketball sized rounds.
yeah,
Like it's not like a 6-pounder. It's a freaking
20
solid shot.
pounds of powder behind that basketball. Yeah. I wish I could do Sailor's Creek, but I got drill. I actually have an FTX, so
gone for
I'll
tuning.
either
So.
be freezing or sweating my ass off at Fort
Or both.
Indiantown Gap. You never
Or
know
both.
what it's going to
Yeah.
be.
Or both.
Or both. Probably both.
So we just got, well, not, it's been about a year or two now, but we just got 40 acres at the Cumberland Church we're going to preserve. So that's pretty cool.
I sure wish they could, if you ever want to see the Hunterstown battlefield, you got to move fast. And I'm talking weeks. You need to get here in like a few weeks because they already have backhoes out there. They cut all the forest down. It's all getting plowed up and turned into the Amblebrook 55 plus retirement community, 2,000 homes. There will be nothing left of the Hunterstown battlefield. It will be all gone. Well, they'll have streets like Custer Boulevard. That'll still be there, but it's breaking my heart because that's the way I drive to town every day from Gettysburg to Hunterstown. I drive Hunterstown Road, and half of the battlefield is already taken over by a power plant. And now the remaining other half on the other side of the road is going to be a housing development. It breaks my heart driving by every day, watching them dig and plow. It's like, is there nowhere else to do this?
Nowhere cheap.
This isn't cheap. Gettysburg is really
Well,
developed.
I mean, cheaper. I mean,
yeah. And it's
I gotta show the pictures if I can find them, but they're not showing up. Oh, there they are.
Locally too, because there's so much battlefield land here, and the Battlefield Trust is pretty active here. The township I'm in and my elected representatives are like aggressively opposed to the Battlefield Trust and the preservationists because they buy land as a nonprofit, and then the tax revenues to the township go down.
Once he gets back, I'll share this.
Pretty soon they're supposed to tear down Pickett's Buffet.
Oh no, that's so sad. Anyway,
it's been closed since I deployed. It's had to be closed for about a year now.
Yeah.
But the KFC will still be there. Rally on the KFC, boys.
That's what we're fighting for.
Yeah, that's what we're fighting for.
My juicy chicken, Colonel Sanders.
You know, I am a Kentucky Colonel. Someone nominated me, and damned if the governor of Kentucky didn't approve it. I'm an honest to God commissioned Kentucky colonel.
Yeah, Sailor's Creek, it was a rough time, man.
I was gonna say, okay, I realized my shit was muted. Like a colonel, nah. Light colonel, probably.
So this is in the Hillsman house at Sailor's Creek. It's still there. The original house,
Oh,
original
yeah.
floors. So these are the blood stains on the floor from surgery. So they have the house set up as it was, possibly as a hospital, according to diaries and occurrences written down. So the door coming to the back side of the house is right here. You come in here, and then there on this door here, this was the living area is. So one officer wrote down that he was brought in, he was put on one of the beds, and immediately, like when you come in the door, immediately to the left, they were amputating right here. So they have
Good.
glass over it where there's blood stained in the floor.
Damn.
And there's more in the other room as well. They have smaller glass plates. My buddy that works there, he said, like, if you close the door, more light discipline, you take out a black light, those blood stains like triple in size.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up.
The worst part would be to go through the whole war and then
Yeah.
a couple
So there's
days before the end.
There's a book or two books I have written by one of the rangers here. Well, actually, it's by Chris Calkins and one of the rangers here at the park in Appomattox. No one wants to be the last one to die.
Yep.
It's a really good title for a book around here. But yeah, it's you make it through all that, several years of campaigning, and we discussed this a whole lot because that's my forte is the Appomattox Petersburg campaign. And like, what makes you draw? Like, I grew up in the county next over, so on the retreat, I would be within where I grew up. I would be within 15 to 20 miles. On the retreat to Appomattox, I'd be 15 to 20 miles from my house. And after 4 years of campaigning, I don't think I would not desert. I would go straight the hell home. Like, seeing the army as it is, like, you haven't ate in like 3, 4, 5 days.
You're fucked. Yeah.
I'm going home, man. Like, there's no end in sight. Johnson's army's on the retreat as well. Like, where are you going to run to? Like, there's nowhere else to go. But on the other side of the coin, the end was in sight, regardless of no matter how it went. But I think if the army would have made it, the army of Northern Virginia would have made it to Lynchburg. It probably would have been a few more weeks, if not months, because the city of Lynchburg is called the Hill City because it's built on a damn hill like this, and it's a river here. If you'd cut the train supplies off and the bridges, the army would have caught hell trying to get around. And plus, they had the VMI cadets dig trenches around Lynchburg.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a historical marker there. When I went to the academy years ago, downtown, the VMI cadets dug trenches in late 64, early 65 to defend Lynchburg.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yep. Because the VMI cadets were put in battle, and that was kind of a politically bad move.
It's not good.
So they removed them out of combat and sent them to Lynchburg and put them on detail there. So they were digging trenches around Lynchburg. But I'll see if I can pull. Trying to find a picture of Lynchburg. There we go. Well,
I put 5 boxes of Linen Sharps cartridges on my website today, and they all
Damn.
just sold.
I
Weird.
figured.
I wonder why.
Yep.
It's I can't make this shit fast enough.
We'll make it
That's what I was
fucking
doing with
faster then,
these.
sir.
This was supposed to be. These are pieces of linen to be rolled up into cartridges, and this guy bought them
So yeah,
all.
this is Percival's Isle, but yeah, this is Lynchburg City back. This is before the Civil War. This was a drawing. I think it was like the 1830s. This is 1910.
Man, I wish I lived in a town with some cool history.
We can't all be lucky. But yeah, this is what it looked like. Like I think the 1840s maybe. This is looking southwest. But this is the Hill City. But yeah, getting across this would have been next to it. It would have been another Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Because I think like over here they had the VMI cadets dig trenches.
This is just wish you lived in a town where things happened. Well, I grew up in a town of 1,200 people, and
Nothing happens.
we fielded quite a few guys from to the second Wisconsin, but we didn't have any cool shit like that, like bridges or anything like that. So
All
It's
we
funny,
had
like-
here was the largest battle ever fought in the Western Hemisphere.
yeah, Gettysburg, yeah.
That's all we had here. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean that's a cool thing. Like I'm just joking. Like I'm fucking like
I'm joking too.
yeah. Well, us
Did,
dudes from Wisconsin, like
Michelle doesn't get my sarcasm either. I'll say something like that. Like, man, I wish I lived somewhere that
no.
had cool history. And she does not get it. It goes like right over the
it's
top.
all good, man. It's all good.
Did you ever see the Marine Corps like in 1923 or whatever do maneuvers there?
In
The-
Gettysburg? Yeah, the Army too. In fact, the Army, Patton was there in the 30s with tanks. And
Yeah.
he
Oh, the
chewed
Renaults?
up a lot of the ground of the battlefield and like ruined a lot of the topography by just going over it with tanks.
Patton was such a good general.
Yeah, it was the best.
My
right?
grandfather was my dad was in the Patton Third Army.
I was here in my before life. I remember. I want to fuck up the ground again. Thank
My
God.
grandfather was with Patton and would not tolerate anyone saying a word of criticism of Patton. Like he would take it incredibly personally.
I think that's common.
Yeah,
A lot of guys are like that.
yeah.
My grandfather was a pussy. He was just in the Fifth Army. He wasn't in the Third Army. Yeah, he was
My
in the Fifth
grandfather,
Army.
they landed him on Utah Beach the day after D-Day, so June 7th,
Yeah.
with 8-inch howitzers. We went from a raw beachhead to landing 8-inch howitzers
Oh yeah.
in 24 hours
Oh yeah.
in the 1940s. I don't care who you are, when you are. That is impressive capability to have the infrastructure and capability on a beachhead to be rolling 8-inch
Oh yeah.
howitzers ashore the day after is just like
Dude, it's fucking nuts.
It's
And it's like that's the thing.
incredible.
Like the U.S.
But that's a
military, the reason
gamble
we're
too.
what?
That's a gamble though too.
Mm,
Like if you don't like if the beachhead for whatever reason did not go the way you think it did, and you're rolling up howitzers, they're up shit creek.
Well, they were expecting all these dug in German like bunker fortresses inland that they would have to smash through.
Yeah.
And that didn't materialize. And so instead, he went from Utah Beach to Cherbourg, where they were shelling the forts in the harbor like day and night. He said the USS Nevada was out at sea shelling them, and then they were shelling them from the shore until
Nice.
the Germans gave up. They gave up because they couldn't sleep. They were perfectly safe in their bunkers underground, but they were shelled 24 hours a day, and they could not rest. So after a couple days, they finally gave up.
I think Brest would have been the same way, except it was led by the 6th Fallschirmjäger, and they were just too fucking fanatical.
I'm sure whoever they had in the Cherbourg forts were probably Eastern European, like Serbian or
Mike A needs to be on here. We'll have this conversation with Mike A's on here. That motherfucker.
Actually, in this bunker here.
No, actually, yeah. Mike knows more than you do, and I do. You know this.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He's stimming. He's watching right now. He's stimming.
The autism is fucking. I don't think he's. Let me text him really quick. I don't think he's awake.
But I know so little about World War II, and I don't care.
So it was the second war of the worlds. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Mike.
You can go. Why don't you get a big hydraulic suck in my shit pipe, fuck teeth? How about that? Like you can do that, and yeah.
But yeah, they at Brest they had the U-boat pens and the army. What? So they were just in the U-boat pens and they couldn't be shelled, artillery bombed, anything.
Oh God. You're such a fucking faggot, Trey. Like, oh, fucking A. Lovely.
Well, Mike did warn us he was extra spicy today.
No, but like, I mean, Trey's had taken out.
Why is so spicy?
You got those fiestas there? Why they got them on the menu if they ain't on the menu?
It's so spicy.
You wait a second. You never seen the Wild Westford? What?
Yeah. What?
You're not fucking reacting to me the way I want you to.
I know. I'm not playing your shit
fucking,
tonight.
You fucking ass clown. I'm gonna fucking end you.
Wrong. Believe me, trust
wrong.
me.
Wrong. Yeah, you're fucking wrong.
I've turned the tide, believe me.
But Brett here is an esteemed individual, so we're not gonna behave like this around him.
He's steamed.
Yeah, all of a sudden a gentleman,
we actually fucking did a stream where we did that shit, and people from England were like rating our shitty accents. They're like, actually not bad. I'm like, yeah, of course we know where the fuck we came from. What the fuck? Yeah, so it's like we know where the fuck we came from, and yeah, but no, it's fucking what the hell are we gonna talk about? Oh, so let's talk about this for a bit because you said I'm spicy, in a spicy mood tonight, which I am. Can you figure your shit out, sir? Jesus fucking Proust. He can't fucking figure his shit out.
He boked it. He boked it.
It's fucked up.
Was his laptop? Well, maybe it died.
No, it's his phone. No. It probably died, yeah.
He was on the laptop.
He's gonna probably text us and be like, oh God, it fucking died. Oh, whatever. I tried.
Well, it's still up, so something's not right. Because when his phone dies, he's gone. Like, it doesn't show Brett nothing.
Yeah, that's very true.
But I'm pretty sure he was on his laptop because I saw him like reach forward and type something earlier.
No, it was his phone now because he was like, yeah, he's doing that shit. Oh shit. My buddy might be coming on.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dead ass.
One of my other buddies I was in Iraq with and I grew up with. But no, so well, let's see. Let's see if Jake gets on. Jake Zielsdorf.
There you go. Now you're unmuted.
Fucking
No, I can't hear
nope.
them.
You're muted. You done fucked it up, sir. Oh God.
Well, he figures that out. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Yep, you're good. You good to go there, Major?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, Michelle called, which is unusual for her to call this late, but
Everything good? Do you need to go or are you good?
I didn't answer it in time, but I sent her a message that saying, "Is it urgent?" and then never replied. So
Do you need to take care of business or?
I think if it is urgent, she would like message me.
Okay.
So I told her I'm on a live stream, but if
Yeah,
it's
but it's
urgent,
fine.
we'll
Look,
let me know.
if you got to take care of business, you got to take
Yeah.
care of business.
You know what? I can also get on Facebook Messenger to her on
Yeah.
the computer here and see if she's on.
That is
there.
And
true.
March 26th, Brett was single.
Oh shit. Oh man, that's fucking dark.
You didn't answer me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Nope, nothing on Messenger here. So
Oh, Brett, did you see that frock that Hutzel had at Bentonville? That officer's one they hit on the mantle out front?
if I did, I might not have. Was it federal?
No, it was Reb.
See, I don't do Reb anymore.
Yeah. My girlfriend bought it for me.
Oh
I
yeah,
might.
his fucking frock is fucking. That fucking coat is gorgeous, dude. Trey, yeah, go grab that son of a bitch. This thing is fucking. Yeah, this thing is fucking gorgeous. Look at this son of a bitch.
I couldn't tell you what material it is. It's made by oh god, what is her name? She's in Gettysburg. I'm drawing a blank now. But if I had to guess, it's probably Ben Tart material. Jody Nolan is her name.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's in Gettysburg.
Dude, that fucking coat is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I love frocks. I have a
dude, I
federal.
love. If I was in the war and my things had holes in it everywhere, I would still hold on to it, like kind of like 101st, 82nd Airborne, like in World War II. I'd hold on to those M42s as well. Like they're beautiful, they're elegant.
Yep. Yeah, it's a beautiful coat. Like when I get my second Wisconsin impression together, I'm gonna have a frock as well. And as fucked up as it gets, as shredded as it gets, whatever, that's gonna be my fucking thing. Because they just look so goddamn good.
Frocks are great. I love frocks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like shell jackets.
No. Even in World War II, I don't like them.
No, yeah, that's the
Ike
thing.
jacket,
Like,
I don't.
nope.
I don't
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it.
It's
Nope.
like, no, you got to have a fucking coat. You know,
You know?
you're in the fucking military. You wear a fucking uniform that defines you.
Yep.
It's like, I'm not wearing a fucking Ike jacket or a fucking sack coat. You
No,
know,
I mean, if you're 18 and like weigh 90 pounds soaking wet, it looks
sure.
decent on you, but the forward pocket looks better. But like I said, the frock, any frock, like Federal or Confederate.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no,
Because I have another
that's the way to
one.
go.
I have another one that's made by Joe Blunt, and I dressed it up as a lieutenant frock, and that's gorgeous too. But it's a darker material. It's like almost an English blue or English gray. Has
Oh, so
similar,
really dark.
yeah. And I put the chicken guts on there. Let me go grab that real quick.
Nobody Z is on. You gotta go into your settings and figure out your shit.
Yeah, I got several Confederate frocks. I got
There you
one
go.
I had
You're good,
is
Z. Sound check.
Sergeant Major.
Yep.
Okay, you good. Yeah, we're just talking about a bunch of nerd shit, like Civil War shit. Like we've got Trey, he's from Virginia, and he's got a bunch. Oh yeah, that dark, holy shit.
It's
Yeah.
got the sleeve braid on it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Lieutenant, yeah. Officer.
Lieutenant.
Yeah, lieutenant. Yeah, but
But it's got the beautiful liner as well.
oh, that's beautiful, man. That's
Oh yeah,
that's a hell of a fucking coat.
coat. Yeah, it's a nice coat.
Now I want to go get my frock.
Well, then do it.
Yes. We'll shit on the pores. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
the
so I should go
frocks.
get my
Yes.
frock. I should be right
Oh,
back.
frocks with the frockless people. Yes.
Jake, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad. I just got on to play some COD or whatever the hell this is, and I suck. So,
Still doing that shit, and you still
No.
suck.
dude, I'm not still doing it. I just got back on because a buddy told me to get on, and then he sold his shit. So I'm like, well,
He sold.
Fuck it.
He sold his shit.
he did. He sold it. I'm like, all right. So I literally I don't even get one kill a game. So
Yeah.
I figured I messaged you. I'm like, ah, shit. See what you've been up to, and
Yeah, no, we do streams, and usually like Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Friday and
nice.
Saturday are kind of interchangeable. Like either we do both or we do one.
Right.
But so yeah, it's just we just hang out, and you know, Smitty up here is a fucking history nerd, and I mean, you should. I'm not telling you what to do. You should probably get a second Wisconsin Civil War impression together.
Uniforming.
Yeah, Smitty
Yeah.
wasn't Smitty on the last one. The
Yeah.
last video you did.
Oh fuck, that's like a civilian frock though.
Yeah, it's
So?
a homespun. This is my Reb frock. Wood
yeah.
buttons. I haven't put this on in like 6 years.
Oh fuck, I should go get my fucking rower one French impression to like fucking up. You know,
It's not a frock. It's not a frock. No.
it's not a frock. You
No.
you motherfucker. It's not a
No.
frock.
Right.
Does this
No.
one have
The ass
No,
pockets?
it doesn't. Yeah, I love ass pockets.
Ass pockets are amazing. Oh, you don't. Those are ass pockets, you fucking fag. Like what the fuck are you talking? Oh my god, you do have ass pockets.
Yeah.
What the
I'm
fuck?
shocked at how well this fits me. 'Cause I'm down. I've been on this stupid keto diet for like 3 months,
Not
and I'm
working.
down like 20 pounds. All my federal ordnance frock fits me so good. I've had to punch new holes in my belts because they're too
Nice.
loose. Yeah.
So this is the Civil War shit, and then like this is. See, here's the thing: is like you two clowns, right? You've got the Civil War shit down. I got the World War One shit down.
It doesn't matter. That's why it was the Second War. First one didn't solve shit.
Well, okay. I'm not going to argue with you there. I'm not going to totally because you're not. Fuck you. Fuck you.
First one didn't count.
Fuck you. Okay.
What's that old meme from Grand Theft Auto? Oh shit, here we go again.
Fuck. Well, okay. Yeah. Oh, God.
Man, I need to wear this more often. I love this frock.
Dude, I'm telling you, the frock is the best thing ever. If you don't have one, you need to get one.
Yeah, everyone.
Like
needs
anybody
a frock.
watching,
Everyone
like,
needs a good frocking.
don't skimp either. Like, dude, they're
No, it's gonna be like $600-700 for the right for yep.
Right. That's
Yep.
what I was
the
quoted.
Confederate
And
the
like,
Confederate officer one was the other one over there. That one was like $650, and it's
Yeah.
dude, it's you feel like a
my
pimp, man.
my cicala frock was like $650 federal.
so Jake,
officer.
have you ever considered like doing living history or like shit like that?
No, never. Just whatever you posted, I've seen that, but I've never even thought about it.
Well,
You
You guys
guys are
are-
as cool as us.
I don't know if I want to get you the bug and like fucking. It's like, hey, the first one's free, you know. Like I don't know if I want to do that, but
You
like,
guys are talking about frocks. I'm thinking about fucking hunting camo. Mike,
No,
you look like you just chopped down like 17 trees today.
me? Well, I always look like this. You know this,
I know.
and I have
Right.
chopped down 0 trees today.
0.
0 trees. No, I'm just fucking. I was chilly today, so I was like throwing the fucking flannel, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll just throw it on, and then we happen to do a live stream tonight. And I'm like, well, I'll fucking keep her on, but like, yeah.
I saw in your last video you had the guitar behind it. You play?
Oh yeah, it's a bass. Yeah, it's a.
I think it's Shite.
Yep, dude, I fucking bid on this bitch at an auction in like 2021 or some shit like that, like online, and I won it for like $120. And I looked at it, and they retail for like 400, 500 bucks.
Damn.
And this is a custom one too. And I'm like, what the fuck? Cool. So I got it, and it plays pretty nicely. It's fun to play, man. Because like remember when we were in Iraq, like I had a fucking shitty, like the hell was that, a Rogue or some shit? I had a guitar, and then like Duke, you know, our squad leader, like had a guitar that I bought, like, but he would play it, and I was just like, well, I don't play this, so here, you can have it.
Yeah.
And we would just sit there and jam in the room, and I, you know, had the shitty amp and everything like that. So,
Dude,
but
just like weird with anything in his hands because he's just ginormous.
oh, Duke is a fucking beast, man. That guy is a fucking savage. Like, it's probably one of the best squad leaders we ever had, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Because you were in second squad as well, and like, so that motherfucker, like Duke, he was fair. Do you remember the one time where he fucking, and then we'll get off the reminiscent stories, but like,
yeah,
but like, we were at the armory, right? And we were like doing something, whatever, and I made fun of his, because he actually wore his BCGs that day. And I was like, Jesus Christ, those are fucking thick. And he's like, what the fuck did you just say? I said, your fucking BCGs are super thick. Like, holy shit. And he goes, get the fuck down and do push-ups. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, really. And I'm like, oh.
He hated him.
Like, yeah, fucking, that was the only time I got dropped by him, is because I made fun of, I didn't even make fun of his glasses. I just pointed out. Like, okay, so that's what triggers you? Like, I'm a dipshit private, and like that's what fucking gets you.
The only thing.
The only thing, and he's like, "Get the fuck down." I was like, "Okay." I think you were there for that one because I was just sitting there doing push-ups, and he's like, "Get the fuck up and don't fucking make fun of my glasses again." I'm like, okay, got it. But no, it was his birthday a couple days ago, so
is he still a mailman?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Like I'm just kind of like reconnecting with him a little bit, but like, yeah, he's a fucking cool guy. But
I know he was a mailman for a while. I'm like, good God, could you imagine this guy delivering your mail?
well, yeah, I could because he'd actually just fucking push through and doesn't matter what happens. But yeah.
Anyways, Brett, I'm Jake. Nice to meet you. I saw you on a couple videos.
Oh yeah, Brett's
Jake.
Brett's a fellow. He's a fellow nerd of mine.
I think I actually got
No.
last time I actually got on. You got off. You were feeling well on your whiskeys or whatever you're sipping on.
Yeah, well, I'm on my phone, so when the battery dies, the battery dies.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Brett's a cool dude. So yeah, obviously Jake was with me with the whole thing and all that shit, and we've been friends since we were kids, so we go a little bit back.
A little bit.
But yeah, I mean,
You don't have
So-
frocks.
yeah, frocks. So I told you, I'm gonna get a frock because so Brett and Trey, if I'm doing second Wisconsin between Antietam and Gettysburg, a frock would still be appropriate, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I'm not an expert on what Iron Brigade got issued.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've heard, it was a fucking circus. It was a
Yeah.
fucking everybody got
But I
issued
mean,
random
It-
shit.
it's just like any other era. Go early, and then early will serve you throughout for the most part. Like you can get
So-
away with it for the most part.
Okay, so if I got a
Like
frock,
you won't really see a sack coat at Manassas. Vice
right.
versa,
Yeah.
you might see a frock coat at the very end.
Oh, okay, that's kind of like World War I German, basically. And
Yep.
so if I were to get a frock, sky blue trousers, brogans I'm not going to wear the fucking leggings. I hate those things with a passion. Fuck them. And then
I don't think you would see those at Gettysburg as much. You might, but I think they went out.
right, but this
They
is like
were
between
wore
yeah,
out.
and it's like you wouldn't probably see them. So like and then I get the leathers and all that shit, blah blah blah, and then I get the Lorentz. That's the thing is the Lorentz. Apparently there's some like weird shit of like they didn't use the Lorentz at Gettysburg, and I'm like, well,
I
from
think it
everybody
was-
that I've
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not that versed on the Iron Brigade.
Brett, what do you think?
I'm sure you could find when they got issued them. I would be surprised. So the Lorenz, so if you had any other rifled musket, you wouldn't give those up and take a Lorenz. So normally if you had like a smoothbore or if you had like rifled 69s, you would turn those in and get a Lorenz. If you already had an infield or a Springfield, you would not turn those in and take Lorenz. That's a step down.
Well,
Yeah.
no, the thing is, like the second Wisconsin, they bought Lorentz's in like 1861 or
Yeah.
1860 or whatever the fuck it
No,
was.
it was 61 or 62 because they had smooth bores.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so they bought Lorenz.
I did find that they had smooth bores
Then they went
in
to
61.
to the
So-
Lorenz, and then late they went from the Lorenz to the 61/63 Springfield.
Okay, so
I'd be surprised if they still had smooth bores at Gettysburg. Only a handful of units.
Yeah,
And those were the ones that clung bitterly to them. Like that, the New Jersey unit and others that did not,
Okay,
they
so-
fought against giving up their smooth bores.
okay,
Yes.
so a Lorenz would be fine for the time period that I'm wanting to portray.
Yep.
Okay. Like the whole time, like Antietam through Gettysburg or Lorenz, it's going to be fine.
Oh yeah.
No, like I said, not at Manassas, but that was like the first major land battle.
Yeah, right. I'm not doing
But,
that. I'm not doing
yeah.
really early shit. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah, smoothbore for Manassas.
yeah, the 69
Or
cals.
or
Yeah.
maybe in 1855. Most of the Model 1855s ended up getting captured by the Rebs.
But I think most of them were still smoothbore because they were contracted with smoothbores. Because there wasn't many 1855s up that way, I don't believe.
Yeah. You probably would have had old flintlocks that had been converted to percussion.
Okay.
Like 1816s converted to percussion. Which supposedly, in this apocryphal second Wisconsin account of the recoil knocking them on their asses, they had Harper's Ferry muskets, which sounds like a smoothbore that has been cone and barrel converted to percussion.
Yeah, for Bull Run.
Yeah, for Bull Run.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I know after that they bought the Lorenzes and they performed well with them.
And you said they were 54 caliber?
Yeah, 54s. Yep.
So if they got 54s and they bought them early, then you probably got really good rifles.
Hmm.
So they would have liked those Lorenzes. The ones that came later after the stupid cottage industry started churning out these bastardized Lorenzes of poor quality. That's when the units didn't like their Lorenz rifles. I got a document here. I found a bunch of
Well, the second Wisconsin, or the Wisconsin units in general, have a propensity to like buy new shit as soon as possible and just fucking throw money towards it because it's the latest and greatest thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if like they bought like the nice ones.
I got an account here I found in my various research of a unit that had Lorenzes, and they got resupplied with ammo, and the ammo was buck and ball for 69 smoothbores, and it says the ball was too large for the Austrian rifle, so I directed the men to tear off the ball and use the buckshot.
So they just use fucking buck in combat.
That's all they were doing, was just using.
Holy
they were
shit.
pouring the gunpowder down. So they're pouring 110 grains of gunpowder
Oh,
down the
damn,
barrel,
dude.
and then ramming 3 buckshot on top.
Like probably like double aught, probably that size.
Yeah, I'd say that's like
Like
It's
36
single
caliber.
aught. That's
No,
single
30
aught size.
It's 31.
31
it's
caliber.
30
Yeah, but it's
31
still
caliber.
you're slinging, instead of a fucking regular a mini ball, you're
Yeah.
throwing 3 31 caliber balls down
Yeah.
range. Oof.
Count me in.
I mean, Jake, I was telling these guys, like, and I've told people on the on the phone and on the other streams, like, every time Wisconsin boys go to war, we kind of fuck shit up. Like, we kind of just like go, all right, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything left. I'm gonna throw my chew spit in the fucking muzzle right now and launch that.
But no, it's just fucking, it's so cool. Like, we're one of the few states that, like, when we deploy, like, to any, like, in the Civil War, to nowadays, it's like people go, oh, those guys from Wisconsin, fuck, whoops. Like, uh-oh. It's like, we just don't give a shit. We're like, all right, we're here to fuck you up. This is what we're gonna do. So we have to take away the ball. We're gonna use buckshot in fucking combat. All right, that's what we're gonna do.
Do you guys own any of those muskets? Or have you ever shot one?
Yeah, Brett's got a lot of them. You can't handle them on stream.
Well, yeah, I
But
understand.
like no, Brett's got Lorenz's. He's got 2 of them.
Sweet.
You have
That's
one too,
awesome.
Trey?
No, not Lorenz. I don't really have the need for one. I'd like to have one, but just can't justify it.
Oh, Jake. So I just got a fucking bayonet that Brett sent me the link to on eBay. It was like some dumb boomer or some shit. Didn't know what the fuck he had. And it said like Civil War socket bayonet. And he's like, this is a fucking a Lorenz bayonet. The rifles that like our unit had, like the 2nd Wisconsin had in the Civil War. And it was like, it's worth like a lot of money. And it was like $50 for the starting bid. And I'm like, well, I can sell some shit and fucking make that happen. No problem.
Dude, that's
So
the
I bid
best. That's
$50
the best thing
on
to
it.
do.
And I fucking won it for 50 fucking bucks.
Yeah, you stole that.
That's worth like what, $400 or some shit.
Yeah, well, if you
Really?
hadn't bought it, I was going to.
Well, that's why I
Fucking-
asked you. I said, do
Yeah.
you want it? And you're like, no, I already have a bunch. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. And
That's
then
sweet.
I was like, yeah. So no, I got the bayonet, and when I get the rifle, I'll have the fucking bayonet for it, the original. And then
Like I said,
I'm
that's the
just
best thing
using
to do, dude. Go on eBay, type in socket bayonet, and just peruse. Because I found an original 1855 bayonet for $100. They're like $250.
Jesus, man.
I mean, it wasn't even rusty. It was immaculate.
Wow.
And when I put it on my 63 and my 61 or my 63, my 55 Enfield or Springfield, when it locks down, it's tight. It does no wobble, nothing. It's good steel.
Nice.
Now I did have to the 1842 bayonet. I did have to buy an original off eBay because they didn't make any repros. But at that time, no, everybody knew what they had, so I had to pay a little bit more for that. But yeah, you just go on eBay and type in socket bayonet, have them measure the circumference of the hole, see if it matches your barrel. Original's way to
Jake,
go.
have I shown you my fucking hat that I got for like the unit that we were in, but like for the Civil War?
Yeah, well, I think I'm sorry, I forget his name. Didn't he have it on last stream?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, but you just got that like what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago, but like
Okay. I think it's sweet.
dude, yeah, it's fucking cool. Like, I think like honestly, like I think we talked about this last time, but like I think units should be allowed to wear like that kind of like headgear, like as a heritage thing. I think the 32nd should be allowed to wear like the Hardy hat. You know?
That would be sweet.
Would that be fucking awesome? Like,
Just show up.
just
Start
show up,
email-
fucking instead
Start
of that
emailing
retarded ass
politicians.
fucking beret. But like,
So are you guys just buying this off eBay because like somebody's grandpa probably passed and they just had it and they just wanted to sell
son
it?
of a bitch, really?
As far as what?
Well, getting those bayonets for like $50 to $100.
So no,
They don't really like realize what they actually have.
Right. You
so
get
that
lucky.
and I mean, I don't buy them just to have them. I mean, I've got one for each of my rifles so I can stack them and whatnot. So I mean, I don't have like a multiple of each caliber unless I have multiple rifles. But yeah, I find a good deal. And I'm like, I'm gonna have this because original bayonets. There's a few companies in Italy that make bayonets, but they're a little pricey, but they're not great. But the rest of them kind of come out of India, and they're Chinese pot metal. They're not literally, but they're not great
Aren't
metal.
they also bigger or like a different dimension than the originals?
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Because when you put a bayonet, Indian made bayonet on a rifle or reproduction, like when you shake it, it sounds like an M1 Grand bayonet. It wobbles horribly. The originals, when you've affixed the bayonet and you lock the ring in, it's firm. There's no movement.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the Mosin Nagant bayonet, the early models. Like when you set it on, you rotate that ring around on the front sight, and it locks it down tight. It's not supposed to move.
Hey Jake, did you go through bayonet training when you were basic?
I think I did, yeah.
With the M9s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
honestly,
because like
it's
we were
one
like
of
the last fucking rotation to do that. And they were like, you guys can wear the expert bar on your fucking, or the bar on your marksmanship badge.
I could never
And we're
get
like, what the
I could never
fuck?
get my M9 bayonet to fit my M9. That's weird.
Well, you were an MP, so like that. I mean, that
It
kind of
just
makes sense.
wouldn't go.
A little bit too big.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to make the green grass grow, but I have no idea.
Blood, blood, blood.
What makes the grass grow?
Did-
That's funny.
Jake, did you
Oh,
have that
shit.
same shit? Like where they're
Yeah.
like, what makes the grass grow? Blood, blood, blood.
Makes the green grass grow.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm like, this is beyond insane. Like
we
this
just
is
we just cut thrown. I don't know.
yeah, like fucking. I'm like, okay, fine, but like, I'm tired. Like, I want to go to sleep. Please, just like make this end.
I'm sorry, you're on night guard duty.
Yeah, well, I sold my fire guard shifts a lot. I would make money and I'd pull cash out. I'd send most of it home, of course, but like, I would pull money out, and I'd be like, "I'll give you fucking $20 if you take my fire guard shift," because it was the middle shift, you know, like at 2 and 3 a.m. It's like, oh man, I just want to sleep tonight, man. Like, please, yeah, fine, cool. Pay him
Dude, even
$20.
Somewhere I still have a little notebook where apparently in basic I was in charge of doing the fire guard schedule, and I have all the roster numbers of who had what fire guard shift for damn near every night of basic.
Oh, you were the fucking scribe?
Yes.
That sucks.
Yes, it did.
Mustang.
Ugh. Yeah, Jake, he was a Brett's a Mustanger. He was enlisted and then he went officer later on. But like, dude, yeah, he went to Benning as well. So,
well,
Yeah.
not Benning, right? Fort Moore.
no, it's Benning again.
It's Benning again?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Really?
always
Most of
been
them
Benning.
Most of them got changed back.
Really?
They're
Oh,
named
shit.
after like PFCs and shit now instead of like generals.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? When did they change that? And it was Fort Moore or something like that? And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's Fort
shit.
Moore. Like Hal Moore is a fucking excellent combat leader. Like I respect the hell out of that man. But like, Fort Benning is Fort Benning. It's Fort Benning.
Yeah,
Fort Bragg
exactly.
is Fort Bragg. It's Fort
I
Bragg.
agree.
That's it. I don't give a shit about like. Here's the thing: people, these fucking idiots who are in these positions of power, are like, well, they were a Confederate general. I'm like, yeah, but guess what? They were still Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
So how about you fucking suck a fart out of my ass? How about that?
But the sad part is they just changed the name of the base. But you go to the
Right.
post, the roads are still the same names.
Right,
the
exactly.
Buildings are the same names.
Really.
I think Fort Lee, if you went to MEPS, they still had like the mural of Mosby Rangers and shit on the wall. Just
Right,
the name
because
of the base.
guess what? Those bases are named that way for a reason, and they're a historical monument in themselves. So how about you quit fucking with that?
Right.
Fort Benning is
Like
Fort Benning.
if you really wanted to go that hardcore with it, like some of the worst posts were named after the worst generals, like Fort Pickett. Fort Pickett was a crap hole, man. It was a National Guard base in the middle of the pines. It sucked. Leave it for the man's name. If you wanted to like poke the bear,
Yeah.
like
How many
Yeah.
people who went to Fort Benning could tell you who General Benning CSA was and what he did, where he fought?
Not a lot.
No, almost no one. So the name Benning has transcended the connection it had with a Confederate general, and it means, like, for us, Fort Benning means something
Way different. Yeah.
totally different.
It's
And the
where we went and
experiences
sucked
we-
fucking
yeah.
dirt.
Yeah,
You know, like we went and
It's,
sucked dirt for 4 fucking months.
yeah.
And it's like, Trey you went to Fort Leonardwood. Okay.
Yep.
What do you think about that? Like,
I
do
don't
you
think
do you
he
know
was a
the name of the
Confederate.
fucking general? Like, do you know where he was at?
No,
Or do you know
No.
that, like, okay, it's Fort Leonardwood. I was fucking eating dirt in Fort Leonardwood.
Lost in the Woods.
Yeah, Lost in the Woods, Missouri. Yeah. Dude, it sucks. Like, basic training fucking sucks.
That's the last thing in your mind.
No, exactly. You're like,
Who's this base named after? No, just you're sucking.
cool.
Yep.
Yep, cool. I'm just gonna try not to fucking die today.
Yep.
Like, Jesus, it's like fucking. That's what it was. But like, no, I'm glad. Like, dude, just fucking keep them. I don't give a shit if they were Rebs, if they were Confederates. I don't give a fuck. They're Americans. It's part of our history. Fucking deal with it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But
like,
I was
like
trying to change something.
on a small tangent, there was only one general that didn't really get a name, and you know why?
no.
Because he turned Democrat after the war.
Longstreet.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. He was best friends with U.S. Grant, and after the war, he became a staunch Democrat. Took the oath to heart, the oath of the parole and everything, and he became like the scapegoat for everything, like why they lost Gettysburg, why the war lost.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a book over here.
I think you mean he became a Republican.
Sorry, yeah, Republican. Sorry. He was a Democrat and then became a staunch Republican after the war, which was the Northern. Lincoln was a Republican.
Sure.
Grant was a Republican, and he became a staunch Republican after the war. I think he ran as a Republican governor for Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he became like the scapegoat for the Confederacy. Like I think Lee died shortly after the war, but I think his son and I think Bragg basically made it their life pursuit to like drag him and his name through the dirt.
Yeah, Longstreet was not popular after the war in the South.
Nope.
So that's why it's not a Fort Longstreet.
Yep. Because he became like a turncoat to the South.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Like, but here's the thing: is like my whole point, like all the minutia aside, it's American history, right? I don't give a fuck if you agree with it or not. Like, if the Confederates, whatever, it's literally American history. That's part of our country. So trying to erase it is pretty fucked up, in my opinion. It's like, just fucking let it go.
Yep.
Like, just fucking, it is what it is, man. Like, it happened. And if you try to erase it, guess what?
It's not like with anything though, like they're trying to erase whatever they possibly can.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like it's a fucking problem. Like, in my opinion, as we're all historians. Like, I don't know about you, Jake, because you're kind of
I'm not.
redneck.
So I got you guys.
But no, it's like no. I view it as like I don't give a shit if I agree with the fucking history or not. Like, what happened? What actually happened? I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about preserving it. If it was negative, it was negative.
Yeah.
If it was positive, it was positive. It was neutral, whatever. Trying to get rid of it and change it, that's a problem with me because I'm like, fuck you. No, we're not doing that. No. It's just, I've had this conversation with so many fucking people too. Like, okay, so you like history, obviously, because you're really into it. Not you guys, but like the proverbial you. You're really into fucking history, it seems like, right? Oh, but yet you want to fucking erase this part of it? Okay. Then you're not actually in tune with history. You're just having control issues that are your own issues that are not the world's issues. Right. Fucking let history exist. It happened. You don't have to like it. I don't like a lot of parts of history, right? They fuck with me, right? It's like, oh man, that was fucked up. But for fuck's sake, do not erase it. Do not try to fucking whitewash it and like fucking get rid of it.
Burn books.
No. Right. It happened. Your opinion on what happened is valid. But your opinion on trying to fucking erase it and just get rid of it because you don't like it, go fuck yourself, you fucking child.
Right. And I'm not like a history nut like you guys, but like, why would you? I don't understand the whole deal with trying to erase history, honestly.
Right, and that's the thing, is like a lot of people don't. And there's a certain fucking small group of fucking people, retards, who are like, well, we're gonna rewrite history. Because we have it'll give us control and it'll give us power. And it's like, hey, no, it doesn't. It just fucks everyone over from knowing what actually fucking went down.
Right.
Okay? You want to rewrite the fucking American Civil War and say that, you know, Johnny Reb was just fucking completely out of touch and, you know, blah, blah, and like this and that, and they were just a bunch of dumb idiots that fucking whatever. Okay. If you want to write that in a book, that's your prerogative. If you want to actually try to erase the fact that the South seceded from the Union for a bunch of reasons, that's not cool. Do I agree with that? Like the reasons they seceded? Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. But it is what it is. You know, it's like it fucking happened. Why would you try to fucking change that? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's so fucking convoluted and so fucking childish. Again, you don't have to agree with history, but it happened. Please fucking document history as closely to the truth of what happened as possible, whether you agree with it or not. Rant over. Thank you for listening to my fucking TED Talk.
Yep. Perfect. Thanks, Ted.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing that, like, I don't know. It's just it's been on my channel, and I'm gonna start making some. Trey, you're trying to share something.
Yeah, I love this scene. Like, I hate Hollywood and shit, but I love this scene, like, where it lays it all out.
There's nothing
roll
new
it.
in human experience, Mr. Tully. Each generation thinks it invented debauchery or suffering or rebellion, but man's every impulse and appetite, from the disgusting to the sublime, is on display right here, all around you. So before you dismiss something as boring or irrelevant, remember, if you truly want to understand the present or yourself, you must begin in the past. You see, history is not simply the study of the past, it is an explanation of the present.
Fucking yeah, I love that scene. You shared it the other night, I think. Dude, it's every fucking generation bitches about the next generation and shit like that. And I'm so much smarter. You know, exactly what he just fucking summed up. I don't believe that. I don't buy that shit for a second, because it's like, no, we are the same as people were 50,000 years ago, in my opinion, right? We have technology. Yes, we have this. We can talk to each other. We're all in different geographical locations. Okay, that's one thing. That's a little bit of a difference. Our conversation that we're having right now is the same fucking conversation that people have been having for fucking millennia, in my opinion, right? And to think that you're better than everybody that came before you, or who came before you, I think it's fucking stupid. It's like, no, we are the exact fucking same.
Yep.
Right? We're evolving, sure, like technologically wise. We've got guns now. We've got all this cool shit behind me and all that stuff. We've got this technology. But, however, the basis of humanity is us. Sitting down, having a guy ranting about shit and whatever, and like talking about shit, that has not changed at all, in my opinion. So it's just like the fact that people could think that fucking people are smarter today than they were ever before. I'm like, how in the whole chicken fried fuck do you think we got here?
Right.
It's not because we had stupid fucking ancestors. It's because you're fucking you're too fucking small-brained, Jake, sorry, I'm in a spicy mood today. I should have forewarned you. But like, it's not because they were stupid. It's because you're fucking so cocky and so fucking insecure because you are falling short that you think that these people before us were all just idiots. No, fuck that. Fuck that. That's simply not true. Because otherwise we would not be here. We are the product of the strongest fucking line of genes to come through our families. Okay? That's why we're sitting here right now. So these fucking assholes, Trey, you knew that was going to set me off. And fuck you for doing that. You knew that was going to set me off.
No, I just love the point.
I love the point too, man.
For a modern film to put something like that in there, it's perfect.
Dude, it's so fucking true though, man. I'm so fucking sick of people like, oh, we're you just don't get it. You just don't get it. You're not smart enough. You're not, you know, people before us are really not that smart and we've got it figured out. I'm like, the fuck we do? Have you seen our culture? Have you seen our fucking society, quote unquote? Have you seen that? Yeah. Oh, we've got it figured out. Okay. Tell me this, cocksucker. Like, how the fuck do we have it more figured out than people even 200 years ago did? We don't. They didn't have it figured out. They just survived. We're surviving, just in a different way. And it's like, no, we are doing the best we fucking can. And that's that.
Yep.
And
Fine.
if people fucking think that we're more smart, intelligent, and going to solve the world's problems because of our generation, our technology, they can suck a fart straight out of my fat ass. It's not fucking true. So, all right, rant over again. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
Well, I've got to run anyway, so I got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So
fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, day shift is horrible.
Yeah, shit.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the rant and encouraging me to rant about it.
Nice to meet y'all.
Hey, nice to meet you.
See y'all.
See ya.
All right, later, man. Okay. All right. I'm a little bit better now, but like, God, it just pisses me off. Like, sorry, Brett, like for the fucking.
Oh no, I'm enjoying the rants.
Dude, when I get on a fucking rant, like a tirade like that, it's like I can't.
I like the whole like, oh, I've had it pretty rough. Like, you don't think Billy Bob in the fucking 1900s fucking getting beat by his dad because he didn't go fucking shovel shit in the cow pasture?
Right. And it's like, dude, when I was at college, like my 4-year, I listened to these fucking kids. I don't know if I told you this last time, but like, I had to listen to.
First, where'd you go to college?
Hamlin. So down in St. Paul.
Nice.
I went to WITC first, and then I went to Hamlin after that. Sweet. And then, so I was at my 4-year, and I was out there in the smoke pit, right? And I'm listening to these fucking kids, because I was like 20. I was 25 at the time, and I had a bit of life experience, if you want to call it that. And these kids were just they were doing like the fucking like trauma Olympics, right? You know, where they were like, well, my dad was like this and whatever, and I'm like, I'm just sitting there ripping a heater. I'm just like, okay, all right, just listening. And I'm just like listening to these people, and they're like, my dad was such a prick. Like he did this and he did that. And it's like, it's nothing really bad, you know? Like, I'm just like, that's like normal. You're being a shithead teenager behavior. Like, how the fuck is that him being an asshole? Like,
right.
Okay. Oh,
so
my mom.
Dad. Okay.
Right. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? And then there was this, I think I've told this on stream before, but I don't know if I told you this, Jake, but like, there was this chick who like was in she was like a psychology major, right? and she was talking with another dude in her program, and I was sitting out there with my buddy, my roommate at the time, Nick, and we were smoking cigarettes, and she was just bitching about abortion and shit. And I was like, well, I don't really have an opinion that's clear because I have two ways of thought on the subject, right? And I was like, on one hand, I think it's murdering a human being. On the other hand, I don't want to fucking pay for it, right? And so I was like, I'm nuanced with that, and it's like kind of a gray area. And she looks at me like, I mean, this is a very condensed version of like what the conversation was, but like, she looks at me and she goes, "You can't have a fucking opinion because you're a man."
Right.
And I went, "Oh, I'm feeling spicy today." I said, "Okay, what's your opinion on the Iraq War?" And she goes, "Well, it was bullshit, Bush lied, a bunch of people died and all that shit, blah, 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 blah." I said, "You can't have a fucking opinion on that because you weren't fucking there." And my buddy pulls me to the side. He goes, "All right, buddy, hey, let's go over, take a breath. Let's go over, take a breath." And he guided me over. We just ripped a heater, and I'm like, that fucking bitch. Like, she doesn't fucking know what the fuck she's talking about. Fucking asshole. A couple days later, things cooled down a bit, and and then she goes up to me. She goes, "You're allowed to have an opinion on abortion." And I said, "Yeah, and you're allowed to have an opinion on Iraq, but don't fucking use that all or nothing logic." And that was that. It was that. It was like over. But I was just, I was in one of those moods, where I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was like, "Then you can't have a fucking opinion on that." Yeah.
That's perfect.
But thank God I have my buddy there. But no, I mean, like, that's the thing is like, you can have an opinion on something, but like, it doesn't always have to be fucking black or white. Like, like I don't know about a lot of things that, are political subjects, It's just like, that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't fucking concern me, really. So, oh, he's got his wiener dog out. A little wiener.
Yeah, I flop it out from time to time.
Well, it's a good thing it's okay for the stream.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to embarrass anybody.
Who's a good boy? You a good boy?
No, Virginia, she didn't realize I was a veteran. Like all I have to show that I'm a veteran is this on the back of my hat. Who the fuck is gonna know that? Like,
right.
That's why I do it that way. Like, I do it on purpose because I don't want to fucking
what flag
draw
is
attention.
That?
What?
Somebody be like, "What flag is that?"
Well, Jake, you've got one of these. You've earned one. You've got it on your dress uniform.
Yeah,
the Iraq campaign flag.
Yeah, look at the shadow box. Don't even
I gotta make one, man. I found my class A's and shit, and like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like that we were still wearing pickle greens, man.
Oh, dude, the thing, yeah, just all that.
You feel so fucking
iron
old. You're like,
and-
oh shit, man. Like,
not even that, but like, I saw a video the other day where they got everything's all magnetic now for your dress uniform, where you can fucking snap your entire like.
really?
Yeah, it's all snapping like magnetic, and I'm like, that
Is
was
that true,
not-
Brett?
I'm sorry. Was that?
He's here.
I'm a little sloshed here.
You're good. You're good.
Brett, what are you drinking?
What is this? Buffalo Trace.
Oh,
Oh,
shit, dude. Yeah, that's
yeah.
some good stuff there.
Yeah, Christmas gift.
You ever try? I think it's called chicken cock.
I don't think so. Is it a bourbon?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know anything
Like
about
bourbons
it
and
until-
rye.
I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss.
All good. Yeah. No, I didn't know anything about it until my dad and I were up in Deer Park on Four Corners. There was a bar that had chicken cock whiskey there, and the place burned down now because All the liquor just started on fire. But
Oh no.
yeah, I knew nothing about it until we went there for I think lunch or some shit. But
I don't drink that much. In fact, the last of this I had was the last time I was on a live stream with Mike.
it's a good sipper though.
Yeah, I do like. Yeah, it's a real gentle bourbon.
Yeah, I got a coworker right now that made his own. He ordered like some of it, like the oak barrel charcoal and stuff, and then made a little batch, and is actually not bad at all for a
Oh, wow.
sipper. Don't know if that's legal or not, but
I think it is, as long as you don't sell it, right?
yeah, no, yeah, he didn't sell it. Just
Yeah.
little samplers he gave out, and
Yeah, I think as long as you're not selling it, I don't see why you can't make it. But don't quote me.
well, we'll find out. Anyways, metaphorically speaking, he made some.
Yeah. What was the question Mike asked? So he was talking about his OIF campaign ribbon.
Yeah, the ribbon. So I watched like I don't know if it was like I don't have TikTok, but it was like a Facebook reel where a guy had like the magnetic ribbon sliders where it's all magnetic now.
Oh
and you
yeah,
can
I've
get it.
seen those. Yeah.
So you don't actually have to like snap them in or actually pre-build them or whatever.
Brilliant. Though I put on a dress uniform in the reserve maybe once a year.
Right.
So, but I got to go update all my. In fact, I'm looking at Wikipedia now. So OIF ribbon is no longer issued. It's now Inherent Resolve is the campaign medal I got for Iraq.
Oh yeah, because I think they phased that out in like 2011, right?
Something like Iraqi freedom is over.
Yeah.
Now it's Inherent Resolve. So I got to get this stupid thing. There's a dining out the Colonel wants to do in December, so I'm actually gonna have to do I might have to buy new shoulder straps
Inherent
too.
Resolve. What does that look like? Can you share pull it up and share your screen if you would? Because I remember like I knew a guy. I knew a guy who was like he was like partying with us in like 2011.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's Inherent Resolve.
that's Inherent Resolve.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to pull it up on this on my phone, and
that's
I'm
fine.
pretty
You're good.
sloshed. I've had like 9 glasses of bourbon.
You're okay. But yeah.
And I gotta be up early tomorrow. This is great. I love it.
It's perfect.
Just drink water. You know the drill.
Keep the heat drill
Drink
start.
water.
Drink water. Change your socks. Face up and pull security.
That's good.
But no, so it's funny because like Jake and I we were there in 2009 and they were still doing the OIF ribbon, and we got a bronze campaign star on there and everything like that. We got a bunch of reserve medals. Like I'll send it to you on Facebook real quick.
Yeah, I
I'll
got
show
a
you my ribbon
bronze
rack.
star on mine too, apparently.
You got a bronze star? Oh yeah, because you're an officer, right?
I don't have a bronze star. No, I only have 4 MSMs. I don't have any bronze.
Oh, you got
stars.
MSMs. Nice. Yeah. Remember
They give them out like
Cortez,
candy.
Jake?
If you're an officer or you're E6 or above and you do a Kuwait rotation, you get an MSM. Just here you go. Thanks for playing.
Well, our platoon leader, Cortez in Iraq, he got an MSM. He actually fucking earned it. That guy did.
He was in Iraq and got an MSM.
Yeah.
He should have gotten a bronze star.
Well, he
unless he never left the fob and basically like pushed paper.
We'll talk other times. He earned it. He did. But like I'll just talk about that off stream
Yeah.
sometime.
You should have gotten him a Bronze Star. So an MSM is a peacetime award. So an MSM is equivalent to a Bronze Star. They're equal awards. The Bronze Star is a combat award.
So he got fucked.
He got fucked. Yeah. Now, officially, he didn't get fucked. Officially, he got an equivalent award. But unofficially, a Bronze Star is higher than an MSM. Officially, they're equal. An MSM. So if you're like a colonel and you're a brigade commander and you command the brigade for 2 years and you leave command, your end of tour award is probably going to be an MSM.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. If you're a company commander in Iraq and you're like running missions and stuff in combat, your end tour, your award will be
Yeah, he
probably
was
be a
our
Bronze
PL.
Star.
So like, yeah, like
Yeah,
what
he
the
should have
fuck?
gotten a Bronze Star, although it depends on who his commander is. So my colonel on my first deployment.
I'm not gonna go on that rant, but like we had really shitty company leadership. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, he might. It all depends on who recommended him for it. So if someone thought he's not like really someone, so an MSM. So if you put someone in for a Bronze Star, it doesn't get downgraded to an MSM. If they downgrade, it gets downgraded to RCOM. So you have to actually put someone in for an MSM because it's not like, oh, Bronze Star gets downgraded to MSM. Bronze Star and MSM are equal. So if you get recommended for a Bronze Star and it gets downgraded, you go to RCOM. So
Well,
someone actually put him in for an MSM, which so normally the way like the a lot of people got Bronze Stars in Kuwait too, but a lot of colonels and generals, because it's a general officer approves an MSM. A lot of
yep.
generals said if you're not actually doing combat ops, you're going to get a MSM instead. So I was recommended for a Bronze Star my first deployment. It got downgraded to RCOM, so the colonel put me back in for an MSM instead. And I'm glad because I don't feel what I was doing running an ammo point on a fob. I don't feel like it feels like it dilutes the Bronze Star when anyone and their mother running an
Yes, I
ammo
believe a Bronze
point
Star is
on.
a valor medal. I don't think
Right.
that there should be
I
like
agree. I don't think. I mean, I'm flattered he recommended me for a Bronze Star. I mean, I still have his recommendation. Like, okay, cool. But I feel better with the image. I think it's more commensurate with what I did. Because I'm running an ammo point on a fob.
it doesn't fucking matter. It really
Yeah,
doesn't.
I mean it.
It doesn't matter.
But all my company commands, I got MSMs.
Well, that's the reason I don't have a CIB is because of my leadership, my company
Yeah,
leadership.
you need to go back and put the paperwork in. You'll
I will.
as long. Yeah, you'll get as
And
long as there's a couple people to. You'll need a couple people to write like a statement.
oh, there's plenty that were there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's open shut. It's easy.
It should have been at that point, but like, yeah, I
Should
mean,
have been.
and so it's funny because like our first sergeant got a Bronze Star for getting all of us back alive, right? You know, so did our company commander.
Did I tell you how good a commander I was on my middle deployment?
Do you want this public or do you want me to end the stream?
No, this is
Okay, that's fine.
this is
Cool.
I'm not naming names.
Okay.
I'm just saying I deployed with a certain number of soldiers and I brought back more than I deployed with.
Yes, you did tell me this. Yes, but really quick, Jake, I was just telling Brett and like the people like, remember how I earned my CIB, right? And then fucking it got denied at the company level.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, you know that. You're rolling your eyes. Yep. And it's me and a couple other people who earned it, and we just never got. We're just talking about like awards and how they work in the military.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is actually a good thing
Yeah,
for
it's
people to
it's
hear.
very subjective,
It's
and
really dumb.
you're at the mercy of who recommends you. You're at the mercy of the approval authorities.
Yes.
So I try as a company commander 3 times, deployed 3 times as a company commander, probably a world record. But I tried to preserve the integrity of the wards process.
One also really quick, would it not reflect better on your OER if your guys got awards like CIBs?
Not really.
It doesn't matter.
Not really.
Like in a combat zone, like they wouldn't matter.
No, what the awards might. So let me tell you how messed up awards are for these routine
Sorry, hold on a second.
rotational deployments. When you get on ground, so we land in theater, right? We're there for 30 days, and the battalion S1 is saying, we need your MSM and Bronze Star award recommendation submissions by COB. And we've been there
30
for
days?
30 days. Because it takes like 5 or 6 months to push these awards through the approval process to get up to the CG, to go through the battalion S1, the brigade S1, up to the division G1, and finally go over to the command cell to the general for his approval or disapproval. So we're barely on ground. We've barely assumed the mission, and they're telling us, hey, we need, if you're putting anyone in for an MSM or a Bronze Star, we need that recommendation like right now, where it's not going to get done before you leave. And that's the cutoff. So there's these deadlines.
Oh, that's where they.
ARCOM is like 3 months in theater. So everyone who gets an ARCOM, their awards are written and submitted before the halfway point of the deployment.
No, I do remember that. So here's what happened with my ARCOM, and like Jake, you got an ARCOM, right? The green one with the white ribbons or the white stripes.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So what they did is they were like, they treated that as like a participation trophy, basically. Hey, you showed up, you didn't fuck up, you did your thing. But that was like in fucking August or some shit. June or July or August, right?
It was like halfway through.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Brett was just saying. And like, so we got, and I was like, I don't want a fucking ARCOM. I didn't fucking earn one, you know? And they're like, well, you shot a fucking almost perfect score on this gunnery table in Texas. And, you know, we're going to backdate it, you know, and like use that and everything like that. And I was like, what the fuck? That's when I started realizing, I was like, the award system is fucked up. Like,
it is. There's massive award inflation.
yeah.
It's better now. I have to say that the 2024 deployment, there was there was a lot more scrutiny. Like if you put someone in for an ARCOM, you had to have 4 really solid bullets. Otherwise, the participation trophy for just being deployed was now an AAM.
Right. And I actually didn't want it. I was like,
that's
I
the
don't want the
default.
fucking ARCOM.
ARCOM used to mean something. So
Yeah.
a buddy of mine was a Marine gunnery sergeant, and his retirement award from the Marine Corps was the Marine Corps Commendation Medal, which is equivalent to an ARCOM. And I have E2s getting ARCOMs for sitting in Kuwait for 9 months.
Right.
Well, that's the thing is like, you know, I never understood that. Like, I was like, why do I have 8 fucking ribbons for deploying once?
Yeah.
I'll take a couple of them, right?
I think we've talked about this before where
Yeah,
like,
we
I
have.
don't wear all my ribbons. Like I refuse to have more ribbons as a Army Reserve major from War on Terror era. I refuse to have more ribbons on my uniform than General Eisenhower had in World War II.
Right. There you go. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, all right, I'll take the fucking Iraq campaign medal. I'll take that because I was
Yeah.
there. I fucking did it. Right. I'll take that motherfucker. I will
Right,
take
it's a campaign medal. Yeah.
right. Like I was there. I did it. I also like, dude, like I know I said it earlier, but like Jake knows he was there with me. I got fucked out of my CIB. And it's like, okay, so you're just gonna give me the fucking random fucking awards and medals that I don't really give a shit about. And then you're gonna fuck me out of the shit that I actually earned.
Yeah, we get a bunch of gimmies like the Armed Forces
The gimme,
Reserve Mobilization Medal.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
like the
hey, really quick,
Overseas
Brett,
Service
look at my
ribbon.
look at the picture I sent you on Facebook. Really quick, you'll see that. Because I'm pretty sure it's the same stack that Jake's got or Z's got.
Yeah, that's all I think I'm gonna wear are our 3 rows. Like I think a lot of the extra like the GWatt with M device, like I think I'll leave
Well,
that
that's the
on.
Armed Forces Reserve Component Activation Medal
Yeah.
or some shit.
Because there's no reg that says you have to wear all of your ribbons.
Nope, you have to wear the Gay Pride ribbon. That's it.
Yeah, I'll put Inherent Resolve and Enduring Freedom campaign ribbons on there, but because I'm gonna have to redo my rack here shortly.
Well, here's the thing I would suggest to you, man. Like, you know, as a personal friend, like, just wear all your shit. Just wear all your shit
Yeah.
because you've earned it. You're not a fucking idiot. Like, you know.
It's just I can't I think it looks so. I think when you look like a Turkish general and you have so much bling on your uniform, you just look. It's just unseemly
Well, but you don't like
to me personally.
you have a normal amount of fucking ribbons. Like, you earned them. Fucking wear them.
You know what the crazy part is? I
Look
don't even know what half these mean.
The what?
I don't even know what half these mean.
No, you're getting the glare off the screen.
Yeah, there's a glare.
Angle it up. Angle it up.
Like this?
Yep, there you go. Yeah. We got the same ribbon rack. Yeah.
Right? So it's like
I gotta show you here.
it's like they
I've
just
got,
handed
like,
them out.
MSMs and shit just laying around in piles.
Mike, do you remember when that, like, was it a 2-star general showed up and
What's this
handed
one?
out coins?
Yeah, I got one from a colonel, but not from the general. Did you get one?
Yeah, I got it. I think a 2-star. Yeah, because I found those
awards just laying around the house.
because I found those. What the hell was it? I found those shanks on that handicap kid or handicap guy.
Oh, no, you found it. Yeah, you were searching them and you fucking got it. And it's funny because Pat fucking found that whole stash.
Yep.
He got a fucking AM, which rightfully so, like abso-fucking-lutely.
Right.
But like, yeah, dude, they fucking hated you and me, and like our first platoon, they just fucking hated us.
I just did. It was just like one of those deals. That was our
Yeah.
job, so we fucking did it, right? Like
Yeah,
whatever we got
exactly.
out of it, I didn't give a fuck. Like we had a fucking job, we did it, and that's what it was.
It just fucking blew dick. It's like,
Yeah.
why the fuck do we get treated that shitty by our own guys? I don't care about like the hostile shit, like whatever that fucking it happened. It's not good, but like
We kind of knew that was gonna happen, right? I mean,
right, but like we got
you're
treated
fucking
shitty by
there,
our own guys, man, and that's the part that fucks with me.
Yeah,
It's like,
dude, straight shit by our own people.
oh yeah, and it's just fucking insane. Like, I couldn't fucking believe that. Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm probably gonna have to jump off here pretty quick.
Yeah, no, you're all right.
Yeah, I can't feel my lips.
Brett,
You gonna
I'm,
be all
I'm
right,
glad
bud?
I'm glad I got to experience you on this end because before I just missed it. So
Yeah.
you were gonna talk about
No,
your medals, though. Are you not gonna talk about your medals?
I just in the cabinet here. I've got like MSMs laying all over the place.
So that's what your point was. Is like it's so they
Yeah,
award them
they're
during peacetime.
yeah. The MSM is supposed to be a peacetime
Fucking a. Because
award.
like
I
our
have.
PL, like he did a
It
lot of
can
work.
be a wartime. It's like it depends on who recommends you for it. And it's supposed to be so it's signed off by a general officer. So you're if you an MSM or a Bronze Star is supposed to have an impact that rises to the level that it's like felt across the division, or it has like almost theater wide
I'll tell
impact.
you about what he did off stream. But like yes, he was
Yeah.
really good at his job.
I put one of my NCOs in for an MSM, which got downgraded.
Of course, of course,
I
of course.
put an E5 in, and I even wrote a memo up with it because, and they go by rank, and they say they don't. Like, oh no,
Oh, they
it's not,
fucking
but
definitely
they
do.
do, and I can understand to an extent why they say they go by rank because it's by scope of responsibility. So an E5 is probably not going to have a scope of responsibility large enough for an MSM. That's signed off by a general officer, and the award criteria for an MSM is
Sure.
theater wide impact. Is what did this E5 have a theater? What he did affect and positively contribute to the entire theater, and they say well, it's much more likely for an officer to have a theater wide impact. So they kind of
Right. Well, that's their fucking
corral
opinion,
around.
and I
I
don't agree with
wrote
that.
that recommendation for that E5 because what he did was when we were prepping for MOB, the vehicles. So we're an ammo unit, and the vehicles and stuff that we were gonna take forward were in terrible condition. And he was my mechanic. He was one of my 91 series mechanics, wheeled
Yep.
vehicle mechanic. And this guy came into the reserve center, and of course it's ridiculous. There's no budget, there's no funding, there's all this crap. We're in the middle of COVID, and he's coming in on his own free time working on this equipment. Like I would do a 1380 to give him retirement points because there's no money to pay him. It was like
Yep.
laughable. And he's coming in and he works miracles getting our equipment, because if we had showed up into theater without this equipment working, it would have had a theater impact, because here's the new ammo unit. I'm the ammo company for the theater. There's one ammo company in the theater. We're it. And if we show up and our equipment doesn't work, that's a theater wide impact. And
Yeah.
this E5, I can honestly say, without award inflation, I can say he single handedly, donating his personal time, came in. And I'll even, it's Sergeant Casper. So if by some bizarre chance he's watching or this gets back to him, he knows I put him in for an MSM too, and he deserved it. And the general downgraded it in spite of my email and my memo I sent up with it explaining why. And all they saw was E5 and instant downgrade. I'm sure
Yep.
they didn't take a minute to read anything else that went up. They saw E5, they saw MSM, and then like, oh hell no, boom, downgrade Arcom.
Well,
And then the
crazy.
general
that's-
handwrites with the big Sharpie in the bottom on the approval. Well
That's-
deserved.
That's something that
Yeah. But at least on the
Jesus Christ.
award, if you recommend them for the higher award, it shows that you recommended them for that award. And then the final, then it shows where the approval authority higher up the chain recommend downgrade. So he can see on the actual form it was recommended for an MSM, and in that case,
Yep.
he deserved it. I would not put an E5 in for an MSM unless they really did deserve it. And this guy single-handedly, and he came in with a couple other soldiers, but he was coming into the reserve center on his own time to make sure our equipment would be fully mission capable when we landed in theater.
Yeah, but fuck, he's 97.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
right, and that's
He's
that's the only
97.
reason. Yeah, so that has stuck with me.
Yeah, to all the fucking upper leadership
Yeah.
who might be watching this, if that ever, fucking listen to this, because this is why
Well,
your retention rate is so
I
fucking
will
low.
asterisk that and say a bunch of other commanders are putting. So a lot of commanders don't want to, like, be the bad. It's much easier for them to recommend everyone for an MSM and then make the colonel or the general 2 or 3 levels above them the bad guy and say, "Hey, Sergeant, I put
Sure.
you in for an MSM, but the a-hole general downgraded it." And there's
Right.
a lot of that. That
There we
happens
go.
on a daily routine basis. So
That is
when
bullshit.
that happens, then it's automatic that when the general sees an E5 for an MSM, he's like, "Oh, another one." Because if his desk is stacked with E5s and E4s and E3s recommended for MSMs, they all aren't affecting the theater-wide impact. So the baby gets thrown out tragically with the bathwater, and that's what soldiers getting upset at me because they're only getting an RCOM, and I'm like, you stayed in Kuwait the whole time. You're an assistant supply clerk in Kuwait, like, and you're upset that you're only getting an RCOM, but
No,
this last
I know what you're
deployment, I
talking about.
fought
Like
a lot of awards inflation. Everyone thought they were
like when Jake and I
eligible
were
for
there,
higher.
there's a lot of shit that went on. I'm not going to talk about it on stream, so I think we're going to end the stream really quick, and then
You mean
we'll
I
talk
made it
about
to
this.
I made it to the end?
Yeah, you made it to the end. All right.
I've never made it to the end.
Damn.
Well,
that's
Jake,
something.
fuck you, Jake. Yes, you have.
Well,
All
no,
right. Thanks for watching, everybody. What the fuck's the live or the comment word going to be?
I don't know. Frock coats.
Frock coats.
Frock coats, yeah, dude.
Frock coats. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and
Right.
see you on the next one.